flexible payment options. Plus, as a full-service salon and barber, she offers everything you need to look and feel your best. Take the first step toward the new you and feel more confident. Call 502-572-4487 now, or visit Hair by Shannon on Facebook to schedule your free consultation today. Get the hair you've always wanted at Hair by Shannon, where confidence begins. 502-572-4487.
Hey, I love salsaritas. Why? Flame grilled meats, house-made chips, fresh-made salsas for fast takeout, office catering, or your summer celebration. Try salsaritas. Visit them at St. Matthews or in Middletown, or order online for special offers.
We know to contact Indiana 811 at least 2 working days before every dig. Contact Indiana 811.
Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical, your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration. Call United Mechanical at 502-339-1133.
All right. Welcome, everybody. It's Thursday, December 18th. This is the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, Louisville's newest construction management company. We're coming to you live from the world-famous University of Louisville College of Business Studios here in the heart of soggy and disgusting Louisville, Kentucky. Cards fans, if you're looking for a competitive advantage in today's data-driven world, you can earn your master's in business analytics from University of Louisville in just 12 months. There's no previous coding experience required. Delve into the world of analytics and data visualization, learning essential tools like R, Python, Power BI, machine learning, and more. Now available both online or in person. To get started or to learn more, visit business.louisville.edu today. We are on the air from 2:32 until 5:30 here on 1450 AM, 96.1 FM, streaming across the land, including on the Big X Sports Radio YouTube channel, airing live on WBNA Channel 21. You know us better as Big X Sports Radio. It's Mike Rutherford It's Roman Kelly here with you on a Thursday edition of the show, kind of like the come down edition of the show. This is the light day of the week. We had reactionary stuff on Monday, preview stuff on Tuesday, reactionary stuff yesterday, and now it's just kind of like, oh, all is silent, not a ton going on. Bean Bowl, 5 days away. Women's basketball takes care of business last night against EKU. Men's basketball has a couple more days until they play again in a game that got a little bit devalued last night because Montana lost to NAIA Montana Tech, which was not didn't add any hype to Saturday's game. But we'll get a little bit loose today. We can get off the beaten path. We can tell some funny stories. I've got a couple of Christmas-related topic ideas. We'll get into that. I think there's still going to be some fallout conversations to be had from yesterday's show. I mean, we had about 1 billion unread texts. Everybody had ideas about what was wrong with the team against Tennessee and what needs to happen moving forward for this team to vault into that elite category in the country. So I'm sure we'll have some thoughts on that as well. Some national football things going on. We got the CFP starting tomorrow night. We'll make some picks there. We'll let Roman talk about the NBA maybe a little bit, and we'll talk with you guys on the Game Day Men's Health text line at 502-414-1450. Roman, how are we feeling today? It's gross outside. It's nasty. I almost prefer the snow to this just kind of slightly warmer but just soggy mess. How are you doing with all this?
I'm all right. My car needed a really, really bad car wash, so
yeah, I think everybody was in that. Yeah,
kind of got a free one here for a bit. It doesn't make it clean, but it makes it look not salty and nasty.
Sure.
Pretty good though. I did a little bit of Christmas shopping this morning.
Hey,
things happened there. Compiling list and planning. But nothing too crazy, nothing too major. Got some play-by-play this weekend. I'll be preparing for, but I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. A little bit, got off to a rough start today. John, this was his first day of like Christmas break. He's got his program tomorrow, but he didn't have school today. And he had been the last, all 3 days of school this week, just like a rock when it's time to get up. My alarm goes off at 8 for him. He gets to sleep in a lot later than Virginia does. But typically, if he's still out, I let him go until 8:20. And all 3 days this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he was just dead to the world. I was like, I hate having to do this. Would love for you to be able to get as much sleep as you can, but we got to get up, buddy. It's time to get ready for school. So today, Mary and I were joking. He's probably going to be up at the crack of dawn. And it wasn't his fault. Our fire alarm went off at 6:40 this morning. And that woke him up. He was never able to go back to sleep. And so we have these hardwired fire alarms that were put in by the previous owners, the fancy fire alarms, and so we just left them in when we moved in. And it's the type that talks to you, and it's fire, and which is terrifying when you hear it and you're half awake at 5 in the morning. But so it went off. Mary came in, got John, brought him into Virginia's room, and was we'll try to get him back to sleep. And I'm trying to press the button. There's a mute button on it, which has worked. This has happened twice before, and it says too much smoke, cannot mute. Mute disabled, too much smoke. And I'm there's no smoke whatsoever. There's nothing happening in the house. And so that, it lasted for 5 minutes, and I felt like Phoebe from Friends. There's nothing I can do here outside of ripping the 7,300 wires that are attached to the back of this thing out. I just had to sit there until it was prior smoke detected, and then turned off. So that was a terrible way to start the day. I don't think anybody's fully recovered from that. Everybody's groggy. Everybody's pissed off, and not feeling overly festive here a week away from Christmas. But besides that, doing okay. Ready to come in here and talk about sports. I feel like...
Was Penny barking at it?
No, she was just... She's pretty good about stuff like that. She she was upset. But she was just kind of standing up and staring at me are you going to do something about this? I like sleep too. This is ridiculous. This is my room as well. How about you go ahead and knock that crap off? So she was just kind of standing up and looking at me while it was going on. And I was like, Penny, I can't do anything. There's only so much I can do here. We'll get it figured out. We'll try to do our best. But it was a rough start to the day. But thankfully, we're doing okay. We've got Virginia's last day tomorrow. She's upset with us because we can't go into her class Christmas party, because we've got John's Christmas program. I feel like the Belcher family in that Bob's Burgers Christmas special, where they've got 3 things going on at the same time, and they've got to skip one entirely. You feel like bad parents, but sometimes during the holidays, a couple things have to be sacrificed. So we're not going to be able to be at Virginia's Christmas party, but we'll check out John tomorrow at his program, And then break is on at that point. Christmas break going on. We'll have a few days off next week. I don't think we know our exact schedule. Have we figured that out about how we're going to operate during the holidays?
No.
I mean, nobody's here, so.
Well, I think we're off Christmas Eve and Christmas.
Well, I know that. But I don't, my understanding is we can't do the radio show during the football game. I guess Dugan told you otherwise.
If I'm just doing radio and the game happens to be on.
So you're just going to come in here and just do a show against the will of the Learfield folks.
The thing is, if I'm watching the game, it's probably too much dead air. I'm like, ooh.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could just Twitch stream from home or something.
Yeah.
If people really wanted to have that.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Take the day off. I like the hours, though.
Yeah, I know. There's something to be said. But so, I think that we'll be off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know about Friday. I don't know what we're going to do there. There's not a ton going on. If it was like the old days where you had the UK basketball game coming up right after Christmas, we would always do shows. We did radio the day after Christmas a lot because sometimes the game was happening that day or happening a day later. There's just not a ton going on now, and so it feels. I think we're within our rights to spend some extra time with the family this year. I think we'll be okay there. Speaking of family and gifts and Christmas time, shout out to our guy Kevin Uselis. Back in.
He's the GOAT.
A.K.A. the Candle Guy. He Candlelit Whiskey. It's 2 L's in there. Candlelit Whiskey. He has been bringing in candles here for us for the last, couple months. Brought in some themed candles. We got some U of L candles. He does the thing where he takes old glasses or old bourbon bottles and turns them into fantastic candles. I've burned several of them since he started gifting them.
I've already kind of ran out of a couple. I
Yeah?
need to take the glasses to him and just see if I can get a refill.
Can we get a refill? Does
I
Candlelit
like the
Whiskey
Lakers
give
one
free
on Laker
refills?
games.
So that's what I do with
I'm
the
messed
Lions.
up when that one's over.
I'm kind of realizing that
82 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of realizing that I haven't lit it the last few times the Lions have played. Maybe that's part of the problem. We've got 3 huge games coming up starting Sunday, Christmas Day, and then I think a TBD game just against the Bears. I don't need that candle to be going full force for all 3 of those games. I lit the Reds candle during the playoffs and the stretch run when we were getting into the playoffs. Obviously, we have the U of L candles. Now we got some Christmas candles. I think you got a gingerbread mug.
Yep.
With a candle in there.
That was amazing.
I've got a Santa mug that I'm very excited about. If you're interested in these, Kevin, let us know. I don't think you have a website, but if you do, hit us up because I've got your card here. You can email candlelitwhiskey@gmail.com or check them out on Facebook, Candlelit Whiskey. They've got a Facebook page there. Check them out. All sorts of cool stuff from them. Great smelling candles.
Throwing it on the stream here.
Okay, perfect. They've got they also have the waxes, the Pura air purifiers that you can put into those little systems.
Yeah, he gave me some of these little wax squares that you can put on top of that melter type of thing.
That's right. Yeah. It all smells fantastic. The designs are very, very cool. It's a great late holiday gift if you're looking for something for the scent lover in your life who also just happens to love sports or bourbon. Fantastic candles out there. Big shout out to our guy, Kevin. We talked about him on the CC podcast the other day, and he got in contact with Danny because Danny was talking about, he's like, I would like a candle. And so then Danny texted me and was like, Candle Guy, in the Cable Guy Jim Carrey voice. He's like, he hit me up. He's like, so I've got candles for Danny as well from Kevin, who was very Santa Kevin. He's helping us out here. We love our guy.
We love Kevin.
He's the man.
Makes my house smell better.
Makes all of our look. I've got 2 young kids. We need the house to smell as good as we
I've
can possibly
genuinely
can.
got 4 of them. Use them all.
I do too. This is not. We're not just talking him up because he's giving us free stuff. We're talking him up because we enjoy the products. I use it pretty much every day, except for the one, Mary, which she somehow found a way to blame on me. We had one of those candle warmers where you don't have the way, and she spilled it when it was burning, and she was like, it was too full. I was like, well, you can't blame me for that. You just don't knock it over. I've been burning candles for the last 3 months without knocking any over, and so the burner got a little bit of wax all over it. But it's okay. Doesn't look as good, but maybe we'll get a new one for Christmas. Who knows? Shout out to our guy, Kevin. He's the man. Roman, did you watch any sports last night?
A little bit.
The only thing that I watched last night was Vandy Memphis State. And I always caution against people drawing these overwhelming conclusions from just watching a single game. People will watch a team play a game during Feast Week, and then March Madness rolls around. They're like, that team stinks. I saw him play Oregon back on 2 days before Thanksgiving, and I'm like, I'm going to do that thing, though. I'm not buying Vandy. I watched them play at Memphis last night. If Memphis had anything resembling a competent head coach and players that like knew how to play basic basketball, they would have won that game last night by 10 points. It was the worst game I've watched all season, and it featured a really talented team against an undefeated top 15 team. It was terrible. Both sides were actively trying to give the other side the game. It ended up going to overtime. Vandy won by 7. A Memphis win obviously could have helped our resume a little bit there, but it was embarrassing how both teams handled the end of that game, but specifically Memphis, who had no business losing at all. They got to make a move. I don't care if they go out there and they dominate the American or they are good in the American and win the AAC tournament and get to go back to the NCAA tournament. You got to make a move. This guy cannot coach at all. It was pathetic, Roman. Pathetic.
I was watching the game cast. I was kind of disappointed in Xavier's effort last night, so I was kind of turned away from college basketball a bit. And then, of course, the Timberwolves game was on. I was watching that against the Grizzlies. It was a really competitive game, but I don't think Vandy's that good. I don't think Memphis is good.
I don't either.
So,
well, we know Memphis isn't that good.
Memphis, they should have. The game cast seemed like they were right there, like they had a chance. I thought they were going to win. Then you look down, it's overtime, and then they're losing.
They should have won. It was bad. Anybody who was watching that game knows what I'm talking about. If you weren't, God love you. You made the proper decision. But I watched a little bit of that. I caught every now and then I would flip the bowl games on.
Vermont looked good against Siena last night.
The Catamounts always look good, Roman. I did make a bet. I placed a heavy parlay last night that missed on one leg. I'm not going to say what it was because I'll feel bad about it if I say it. I bet against Bellarmine last night.
Why?
Because I didn't think they were going to win. They were down by 9.
Oh, you live bet them?
No. I before the game. Don't tell Doug that because I texted him afterwards like, hell of a second half. I listened to our guy, John Spear. I had to run a couple of errands last night, and I was listening to Big X Sports Radio, and I was listening to our guy, John Spears. My favorite thing about listening to a few Bellarmine, I guess it wasn't on Big X, it was on 680, because we have the women's games, right?
Yeah.
For Bellarmine. So I was listening to Big X talent, John Spears, on the radio. My favorite thing is, do you know who the guy who's the analyst, the guy who does the games with him? It's not Tony. I'm sorry. I wish because I never hear like the very beginning. I always feel like I turn it on in the middle.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Okay, so I recognize John's voice, but I don't know the other guy. But he does not hold back when he talks about officiating. He laughs at officials' calls like 3 times every single game, and it makes me laugh. Where like John will be like, "And there's a whistle," and the guy's like, "Oh my god!" like it's such great play-by-play radio stuff. So I always enjoy listening to them call the game. And when they got out, when I got out of the car, when I got done stuff, Chattanooga was up by like 11, and I think they were up by 9 at half. And so I felt bad about betting against Bellarmine. I typically don't bet against teams that I like, but it cost me my parlay last night. But I made the money back up betting on the Delaware Blue Hens to win the bowl game last night.
I made some money back with Georgetown.
No, Georgetown stinks. I mean, Georgetown and Marquette both stink.
Shaka's going to get fired.
He's not going to get fired, but he's...
Why not? They're terrible.
Yeah, but their whole thing is like, this is the ins and the outs of not using the transfer portal, and
They're okay with it.
We had a connected team last year, and look what we did. We made the NCAA tournament as a 7 seed, and we were good the year before. And there's going to be down years where that's kind of what they're telling themselves. The fact of the matter is, they're the worst team in the Big East right now, and I think they're worse than DePaul, and they're not going to even flirt with the NCAA tournament when they have their 2 games under 500. They're bad. Georgetown's not very good either, but yeah, that was rough last night.
Played Marquette all year.
You kind of have to. I mean, I thought the fading...
Keep making them favorites.
Here's the deal, Roman. The Big East stinks. Big East stinks. You mentioned Xavier. I mean, Xavier's not good. I love Richard.
I thought they would look better than that.
Well, I didn't expect them to lose by 41 last night because you know who else also stinks? Creighton. They're not good. But Richard will get it going there. He got off to a little bit of a slow start at New Mexico and then was able to get things going.
Made a tournament, right?
They won a game in the tournament last year.
That's right.
Had Donovan Dent. They made, I think, multiple tournaments. He'll be fine long term. They're not very good this year. Creighton, who beat him by 41 last night, is also not very good. Marquette stinks. Georgetown isn't as good as they want to be. DePaul always stinks. Butler's okay. Who am I missing?
Butler's better than I thought they would be.
Same.
Georgetown's not as good.
Georgetown's not as good as I thought they were going to be. Providence isn't very good. Seton Hall is way better than anybody thought they were going to be because guess what? Shaheen Holloway knows what the hell he's doing. He's a tremendous coach. They play hard as hell. They could easily make the NCAA tournament. Besides that, I mean, there are like 2 legit good teams in that conference, and then like 2 or 3, I think, above average teams in that conference. Everybody else stinks. It's a bad, bad, bad Big East. I don't know who's ringing the doorbell here, but there's nobody else here to answer it. So you're gonna have to keep ringing, I guess, because I ain't gonna get it. Everybody's gone now, Roman.
I feel like if you don't know the code, then
Well, the only time
whoever's you're here for should be here.
I feel bad. The one time somebody kept ringing, I went during the break. It was like the little kid. He was like, "I'm supposed to wait for my mom here." I was like, "Okay, is this like a trick?" I didn't know what to do. It was terrible, but I let him in.
It's a trick.
I mean,
My own pranked.
you can't be too careful these days, Roman. You can't be too careful these days. But anyways, it was
Now they're banging on the door.
It's probably that kid.
All right,
Go check out. Make sure it's not a little kid who's waiting for his mom here. The ins and the outs of doing sports radio right behind a school. But a fairly uneventful night last night in college basketball. If you're looking at the ACC, all 4 teams that were in action last night won, although you would not have known it by Will Wade's reaction after the game, which we can talk about a little bit. Wake Forest got pushed to the brink by Longwood. 71-68, they win. Syracuse took care of Mercyhurst. Pitt blasted Binghamton. NC State won by 40 over Texas Southern, and Stanford won by 16 against UT Arlington. The most notable thing that took place last night in the ACC was Will Wade going on a little bit of a post-game rant. Again, after they won by 34, I don't want to play the entire thing here because it's like 4 minutes long, but he's furious with his team. NC State was a team that started this year preseason top 25. They haven't been terrible, but they have not looked like a top 25 team. They've already got 4 losses. All 4 losses are to good teams, Seton Hall, Texas, Auburn, and Kansas, but they haven't really beaten anybody of any real consequence. And last night, Will Wade gets out there and is like, this is like my guys are like this is concerning. People are talking about these guys having a 3.0 GPA, but like that's wonderful if we're running a daycare. He says that straight up. We run a competitive basketball program. We've got guys that just do not get it mentally, and this has been a disgrace.
Who said this?
Will Wade last night after his team won by 34. He goes, "We got a 3.0 GPA. That's wonderful. If we're running a daycare, we run a competitive basketball program. We've got a lot of casual personalities on this team. I mean,
that's crazy.
But this is what you hire Will Wade for. Like, this is the type of thing that he does. He will, and look, he's not wrong. At the end of the day, nobody really cares about the overall GPA. I'm talking about head coaches. If you're a 10-year head coach who's had a 4.0 team GPA, all of your players get straight A's, but you're not winning basketball games, you're still going to get fired. People can preach student athletes all they want, and academics are the most important thing. Winning's the most important thing.
It's not the Ivy League.
It's even in the Ivy League. Guess what? Princeton, if you're the head coach at Princeton and you're not competing for Ivy League championships, you're going to get fired. This is about winning. There's a lot of money involved. It's about winning. Will Wade just kind of says the quiet part out loud. Now, I think he's an a-hole. I don't like Will Wade, but I do think that he is like if you're hiring him, this is what he's going to do. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. The exact quote is kindergarten is over. It's what he said. Like I said, if you want to find the whole clip out there, it's everywhere today. It's like 4 minutes and 11 seconds long. I don't think that we can play the entire thing. If somebody could have boiled it down to like a more of a minute clip. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm going to send this to you, Roman, via DM. I don't know if this is just the audio from him or if it's like this is from my guys in Raleigh, Joe Giglio and that crew, Joe Ovius and Joe Giglio. I don't know if they're going to talk here, but play the first part of it at least, because this is Will Wade last night going on a rant again after a 106-72 win over Texas Southern.
1 second here.
Okay.
Computer screen just went white.
Okay, but anyways,
Chrome not responding.
Don't worry about it. You get the gist of what Will Wade is saying. I mean, if you're an NC State fan, you're tortured a little bit, right? Like you haven't had a great run. You had a crazy miracle run to the Final Four a couple of years ago, but you want to be a consistently competitive program that's always going to the NCAA tournament, that's competing for national titles at some point, and that is like right there is one of the best in the ACC. That's what you hire Will Wade for. You know that he's got a reputation for kind of being, sort of a shady dude. What do you make of him coming out and being like, I don't care about grades. We're soft. We got to get tougher. This ain't kindergarten. Let's go win basketball games.
I mean, coming off of a victory like that, that's a bit crazy. But if you really feel that way, you got to say it. It doesn't matter what's happening as of that day. I mean, I don't know if press conferences like that are the way to do it, but
up and ready to go. We got a lot of casual personalities on our team. We don't have people that are revved up and
just the first
and ready
15
to
seconds
go.
here.
Man, I had one of the kids come to me, I'm tough. I said, you're not in the top 50 of the toughest players I've coached. And we got all high major games from here on out. Kindergarten's over.
This is now multiple times.
All right, that's all from right there. I mean, like, he's not beating around the bush there. He's straight up calling his guys out. He expected this team to be better than it is. I don't know exactly what about last night's 34-point win got him so heated, but he's fired up. If I'm an NC State fan,
I like this.
I mean, I think I kind of do. And look, every fan base sort of, you contort yourself to be a fan of the coach that you think is going to win. Like, we're okay with Bobby Petrino being an a-hole when he's winning games. He's an unforgivable a-hole here when he starts losing, right? Rick Pitino, when he's winning here, we love his bigger than everything personality. When he's losing here, it's like he doesn't get the personality. He thinks that he doesn't get our town, doesn't get our team. He thinks he's bigger than the program, and nobody's bigger than the program. Same with Cal and UK fans. Like, whatever the downside of a person's personality is, you overlook it when the team is winning. You emphasize it when the team is losing. This plays well now because NC State fans see him as this sort of channel to better days ahead. But if he doesn't get it done, then he just becomes an unforgivable a-hole. And how dare you talk about kindergarten being over and not caring about GPA and all this stuff. The reality is Will Wade was brought to Raleigh to win basketball games, and he's simply just saying that. He's like, I don't care what these kids do in the classroom as long as they're eligible. We need guys that eat, breathe, sleep basketball. That's what we need. You ain't tough. Don't tell me you're tough. Show me you're tough. Tough guys don't call themselves tough.
I still think that this is still you run a bit of a. I mean, you're the head coach. You're the most important. You're the top dog. No one can go over you about what's happening on that basketball floor. But at the same time, I feel like you run a risk in the locker room with these kind of statements too. Sometimes.
Yeah, he always walks a thin line. But you also kind of put it out there now, though. Like I'm not putting up with any. We'll use the phrase fake juice. I don't like if you're not going to go out there and die for loose balls, you're not going to play here.
Now, what happens when your best player walks into practice and says, "Bleep you, I'm not hearing that. Go on somewhere."
I think if you're Will Wade, you say, "To hell with you." Like you're done. They had a guy score 47 points last night, 47-10, most points by a player in the ACC so far this season.
If that kid walks in and says, "I'm not hearing anything you're saying,"
that's what I mean. How do you feel if you're Paul McNeil when you're like, "Oh, the headline's going to be all about my 47 ball." And then it's like everybody's just talking about Will Wade calling his team out. He's like, what the hell, man?
Will Wade calls his team kindergartners.
I averaged 4.2 points per game last season. I just dropped 47, and nobody's talking about me today. What the hell? Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some Louisville-related things to get into. Maybe take an early look at the text line, 502-414-1450. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical, here on the Big X.
No, it's not.
It's definitely a John Denver song, right?
It's coming tomorrow. Yeah, he wrote this.
Yeah, this is originally made by John Denver.
Winter Wonderland, you know.
God, I'll never get tired of it. It's one of my favorite things. It's the 3 o'clock hour here of the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, 1450, 96.1, Big X Sports Radio. United Mechanical and John Burke, our guy over there, they are your trusted partners for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration services. Give them a call at 502-339-1133 or go online to UnitedMechanicalInc.com. All right, so one of the big conversations that we had in the wake of Louisville's loss to Tennessee on yesterday's show was, and I think everybody's had the same conversation, who's a Louisville fan, the issue at the 4 spot. I mean, it's safe to say, Roman, that this appears to be our most glaring weakness at this point?
I think so. I mean, I don't want to because I feel like we've got the talent at the position, but it's been our weakness. Yes, it's been the weakness. Even though, I mean, McNeely's technically at the 3 spot when he's out there, and those minutes have been putrid the last 2 games.
For sure, but I think people look at this and say,
you could put Woolley in that spot and immediately fix that. So, yeah, it's the 4 spot being
but I think people look at it more of as like a matchup problem. Like, Javon is a good player for who he is, but he's undersized at the 4. Kanai has not made the type of leap yet that we were hoping to see. Kaysen is, I think, a little bit limited to begin with and still coming off of an injury. And the 2 teams that have beaten us this season very clearly identified the 4 as our weakest spot and attacked it on both ends of the floor.
If Javon was an elite catch and shoot player, he could easily play the 4.
Or if he was just like 3 inches taller, you know, like that's the thing. It just, we list him at 6'7", he ain't 6'7", and if he were like 6'8" or a legit 6'7", I think he could do a lot more.
6'6", maybe 6'5".
He's being asked to guard 6'10" guys that at some points are more athletic than he is, and that's just, it's a tough ask for him. And it seems to be an ask that Kanai Roots and Kaysen Pryor aren't ready to step up and grab just yet either. So, you look at that, you're like, well, we are who we are. We're almost at the conference portion of the season, not quite the midway point of the season, but we've almost got 2 months down. I guess we're just going to have to figure it out. There's no unicorn out there that we can just add to the roster, unless, Roman, there is. Have you seen this?
I believe so.
Former G League standout Kyrie Walker is exploring a return to college basketball and reportedly would be available immediately. Walker is, I mean, he's who we're talking about here.
Did it say return?
It said return. I don't know why that's he's never played college basketball. He's 6'7", he's 220. He's a big-bodied power forward. He's being reportedly pursued by a number of high-profile schools, including Louisville. Schools that have shown interest, according to Chris Diaz, are Ole Miss, Louisville, Texas Tech, Valpo, Temple, Campbell, Alabama A&M, UTEP, Fresno State, Tennessee. I don't think you need them, guys. Howard, Rutgers, Michigan. I don't think you need them either, and Missouri. So if this name doesn't ring any bells, first of all, it probably shouldn't. But he was a kid who was a fairly highly touted player coming out of high school. Not even coming out.
He was like a social media hooper before social media hoopers existed.
He was, and he was the classic, like, I'm getting a lot of bad advice here. Because he essentially skipped his senior year of high school and then didn't go to college, opted against going to college to get himself ready for the 2021 NBA draft.
Terrible mistake.
Look. You're a 17, 18-year-old kid, and you're not going to school, and you're just focused on getting ready for the draft. You're not playing any competitive basketball. You're being trusted to work out and stay in good shape on your own. That seems to be a recipe for disaster, and guess what? It was. He didn't get drafted. He ended up bouncing around the G League for, I think, a couple of years. I don't have the stats in front of me. And then, fizzled out, never got a shot at the NBA. He ended up having to go play overseas. He's played in Canada. He's played, I think, in Scarborough. He currently is playing in Mongolia. So, yeah, bad advice coming out of high school in California, or before he even got out of high school in California. He now is he's 25 years old, okay? So this is a grown man at this point.
Be like a 60-year.
Now, I understand the allure here of the fact that this was a guy who was once regarded as a 5-star recruit. He fits what seems to be a void on this year's roster. Here's my question about him. So I can't find any highlights of him from the last 3 years. Anytime somebody posts like a highlight video of Kyrie Walker and like, this is what he can do, it's all G League highlights from 2022, 2021. Before we take him, and I would assume that our coaches would do their due diligence on this front, I want to know what he looks like playing in Mongolia, right? Like, is he 35 pounds overweight? Is he in great shape? Does he look like he's improved? 3 years ago is a long time in any capacity. But
got a little body on him right now.
Yeah, he's
I'm looking on his TikTok. He's got some clips from December.
Okay.
12-4.
What do you think?
I mean, he's playing with a couple tall guys who look like they're probably ex-serious hoopers. The shot form still looks ugly as ever, but
doesn't look good.
He's dunking with ease.
Okay. I mean, he was always a little bit big-bodied. How does the body look? Is he in shape?
The belly's out.
That's my issue.
The arms still look good, but the belly is out. The arms look really good for having the belly out. Can we say that?
Yeah, we can say that. Kyrie Walker, he went through the recruiting process, by the way, in spring of 2023. And back then, you can go back and you can find his name. Like, all these people who are like, oh, my God, I forgot about this guy. Can't believe he's still around. It's 2 years later, and we're still talking about him potentially coming to college basketball. UK was among the schools that was heavily recruiting him a couple of years ago, by the way. Obviously, I love the idea of adding somebody that can give us a better chance of being a legit national title contender. To me, and this is where I'm not paid the big bucks here, I feel like the potential downside to this kind of outweighs the potential upside to it. We are a program that is built to be so reliant on culture and to be so reliant on team camaraderie. And remember, I think it was like July or August of this year where we hadn't used all of our 15 allotted scholarships. I think we had, 12 guys, and we announced that we were going to redshirt Mo Kamara. And Kelsey was kind of asked about, hey, there's still some guys available. There's some more G League guys that would potentially be available. You've got some traditional recruits. There's still some guys in the portal. Hell, so who added the kid from Robert Morris today? It was just like he averaged 15 points for Robert Morris last season and just never committed to a program, and then signed with somebody today. USC added Cam Woods from Robert Morris. Like, there were just players everywhere. And Kelsey's response was essentially, the secret sauce of what we do here is that team chemistry. And I don't want to do anything that's, we've got our squad here. Everybody likes each other. Everybody is set on the same goals. Everybody knows what's expected of them. I don't want to mess that up. I don't know how you could have that message and then 3-4 months later be talking about adding a player in the middle of the season when nobody loves the fact that we've lost the 2 games that we have, but we're 9-2. We're currently ranked number 11 in the country. We've had a pretty good start to this campaign. If I was 100% convinced that he could really help us, that this was a guy that could go out there and be a double-double machine for this team and fill the one real gaping void on this squad, then I would say it's worth a shot. I don't know if that's...
He looked really good in May.
Did he?
Yeah. So something happened. This is just all assumption here.
I'm trusting your basketball eye here.
This basketball eye with the TikTok eye. Like, I'm looking at the dates. I'm looking at the clips. He's in the same gym that he was in December, but this is in May, and he looks like a hooper. I wonder if it was an injury or something happened, because the body looks good here, the torso looks really good here, and he's flying to the basket. A little bit much faster in these clips than in the December clips. But he...
Can I say something? Because I'm watching it now, too.
He's got some kind of like a weight loss journey he went on in the last 90 days with his girlfriend. Like, posted one day ago, last a meal in America before I leave to China. And it's got this, nice little healthy taco spread, it looks like, at home.
So he posted a video yesterday. He posted a video an hour ago, Roman.
On TikTok?
On Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Can I say something about it? It's probably the same video. I mean, he looks good. There's definitely some, boob bouncing. The boobs are bouncing a little bit.
Yeah.
Do we think he can play?
That was happening in this 12-4 clip, December 4th clip. And the May 4th clip, there was no bouncage.
Okay. See, the one that he posted an hour ago, we still got some bounces. He looks good, but do we think he can play at the pace that we're going to ask him to play? Is sort of my question.
For 12 minutes a game and giving us 6 points and 4 boards, 8 points and 4 boards? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this actually looks pretty impressive now. I'm starting.
As a kid who's not playing high level ball, he's finally getting, at 25, I started seeing some changes in the body a little bit, right? If you don't stay active.
25 years old.
If you don't stay active, though,
sure,
you start to.
No, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. He's a grown man.
Stay regular, but this is seeming like he's clearly gotten in shape for trying to get in better shape for whatever this journey was going to be in China. And he's clearly gotten in the right rooms or the right gyms because why else are you even getting these options? So he's making something happen, it looks like.
He played in the Smith League over the summer.
I think there's some clips of that, but that looks like low level Drew League.
It's Smith League. It's
is it lower than Drew League?
Yeah, I mean,
is that what it is?
It's a fan league. You've got big names out there, but nobody goes to the games. It's like pickup basketball. It's I think Russ played in it a couple times too. I'm torn on this.
If he's coming in to be a energy bench piece that comes in and attacks the glass and becomes a big body, knows when to shoot the right shots, and not necessarily saying going to keep his head down because he's 25 years old, but at this point in your career with what you've gone through and what you've experienced, I'm sure you're just trying to make as many positive things happen as you can. So
he also looks like he's 31.
Yeah.
Like he's 25, but he looks like he's 30. Imagine, like 19-year-old Kenai Roots being like, hey, man, let's go. Let's pick it up. Like, I would feel out of place.
Don't think he's going to O'Shea's, after the game.
I mean, he's probably going to, like, the the sauna, the spa at 21C or something to get the all the muscles treated out. He looks like an old guy. Like he looks like he would fit on the radio show.
He's still getting to the basket. Jumper, I mean,
he's got skills, no question about it.
You've been hooping that long, you better be able to shoot by now as someone who has the ball in his hands.
Yeah. Especially when you've been essentially a pro for the last 8 years. Like his job has been basketball since he was 17 years old.
Yeah.
And now he's 25. You should have that shot down.
Funky, but the jumper's going in off the dribble and off the catch, and he's getting to the rim and finishing with some emphaticness against these guys that probably are nowhere near college D1 level. But he's played against guys like that for quite some time now. So,
and this is we're going to have the same discussion that we had after the London Johnson thing. Like it feels
about that too from a buddy.
About what?
Saw London Johnson's been hanging with the team.
He's on the team now. He's joined the team.
He's been hanging with them outside of basketball stuff too.
Okay.
A couple buddies of mine saw them. He said he think they have him listed at 6'4". He's not 6'4".
Oh, is this the Miller Moss thing all over again?
The Miller Moss thing, because my buddy's like, I'm 5'11", 6 foot, right there on the dot, pretty much. He's not much taller than me at all.
He didn't look tall.
So he's probably like 6'2".
I was gonna say 6'2". I mean, look, like we said earlier, Javon's listed at 6'7". He ain't 6'7". This is not atypical for college basketball.
Kanai's what, 6'11"?
Kanai's listed at 6. I think Kanai's legit 6'10", maybe 6'9". He's not 6'11". It is what it is. Everybody always kind of fudges the numbers just a little bit. So who knows what's going on there? But this is one of those things with Kyrie Walker. Same with the London Johnson deal, where it's like we all acknowledge that it feels wrong, that it feels like this shouldn't be happening.
Middle of the season,
that's
crazy.
25-year-old who's been essentially a pro for the last 8 years is now talking about joining a college basketball team for the second semester. Like, this feels like something that should not be allowed. But if it's within the parameters of the rules and it can help you, like, you take advantage. Because here's the deal. If Louisville isn't the one that lands him, somebody else is going to land him. That is, I mean, Michigan is the #1 team in the country, or that has the best resume in the country.
And there's certain aspects of someone like that who's gotten to play the pro ball. He's going to be a big body out there. He's going to be able to go and grab rebounds for you, if not anything, and set hard screens, right? If he's willing to just buy into whatever is needed from him, that's an asset.
Yeah.
For 15 minutes a game, I think.
I think it's crazy that Tennessee is going after him. It's like, do you really need the help? You've got one of the best front courts in college basketball. I'm not sure that you really need him. Same with Michigan. If I'm Dusty May, why am I trying to rock the boat at all? Why I'm not messing with anything right now. They're beating everybody by 35 points every single game. But I think it makes sense for programs like us, programs like Ole Miss.
It's just weird, though. Like, Isaac Ellis, Dylan Raiola, Kyrie Walker. Those are not names that I ever pictured being associated with Louisville athletics.
Yeah. Yeah. It is
Times are changing. Nil changes things.
It is crazy that Sean Paul, who covers college basketball for Field of 68, he sent a tweet out when the G League players being eligible stuff started happening in October. Anthony Wright, who also covers basketball at every level, was like, so if you left high school ball for OTE, skipped college to go pro, didn't get drafted, you can now play college basketball. And Sean Paul quote tweeted that and said, if Kyrie Walker were only a few years younger, this would have been great for him. And
when did he tweet that?
October. And
wow.
Now 2 months later, they're like, hey, Kyrie Walker's ready to go. I mean, he's 25 years old. I know that it's hard to find a place to draw a line. This feels like one where you should be able to draw a line. But like I said, if it's good, if it's allowed, if it's something that can help you, yeah, take advantage. We'll see what happens. We'll see how much of there's a difference between contact and having a legitimate interest. We know that we've contacted him, at least according to multiple reports that are out there. Maybe Pat Kelsey had that preliminary conversation and wasn't overly interested, or who knows. But if we start hearing about him, taking a visit here or whatever, we got 10 days off coming after Saturday, so we'll find out. But this is
can't be much older than Case and Pryor.
I think or Javon. I think Javon's 25 too.
Oh yeah, Javon did turn.
Yeah, Kaysen's 24. He will turn 25.
24 with another year of eligibility.
Who? Yeah, and he turns 25 in January, right at the start of the new year.
He could be playing basketball at 26 years old.
He could next year. He could be a 26-year-old, second semester senior.
And he went the not necessarily traditional route, but never left the States or anything.
No, he just kept getting hurt and then took advantage of the COVID year. Javon's 23. So he's young.
24 about to.
I thought he was 24 about to turn same. He won't turn 24 until after the season. His birthday's in April. So
he must have another year.
So this guy Walker would be the oldest player on the team, but he would not be that much older than Case and Pryor when all's said and done. It's crazy.
Bring him in.
You're all for it?
I mean, I'm all for 12 to 15 minutes a game.
Wouldn't hate it.
Because you brought in a Kamara who couldn't play, which I thought was going to be, I mean, I don't like to say it, but from what I've heard, you could have used Kamara in the last couple of losses we've had. So
maybe.
Bring in another big body that you can use. Middle of the season, though, 25-year-old.
It's
a pro.
It's tough. If it happens, obviously I'll get excited about it.
In particular, I don't typically pray on anyone's downfall, but you kind of had your shot, man. You chose not to take it. It's like he's getting a second chance this many years later is kind of just ridiculous to me.
I think second chance is putting it lightly. This feels like a 15th chance. You've had a ton of opportunities over the years to do something different.
If he's good enough to make money playing the sport, he's good enough to compete at this level, and can buy into 100% what Pat Kelsey's asking of him, he definitely is the body type to help us.
Let's talk a little CFP here really quickly. We'll start with this because Nick Saban went on Pat McAfee's show, I guess this afternoon, and said, look, I'm not trying to start any bleep here.
Alabama's winning tonight.
And no, then goes out there and starts some bleep right away.
What'd he say?
Well, Alabama plays tomorrow. But
that's right.
He's crapping on the group of 5 schools being allowed in the college football playoff and says this.
Bad take, Saban.
He says, look, would we allow the winner of the AAA Baseball League in the World Series playoffs? That's the equivalent of what we do when JMU gets into the college football playoff and Notre Dame doesn't. I mean, I don't want to start any bleep here, but it is what it is.
Terrible take.
Terrible take.
Terrible take. Go look at how many players in the college football playoff right now for every team played at a low level.
I don't understand why all of these big college football people just hate the notion of Cinderella getting a chance. Just like it eats at every fabric of their being.
When half of them got their start at a Cinderella. Or their team that they were at that was nobody became a Cinderella and they got a gig.
Like the takes that have been out there on this for the last 3 or 4 weeks have been some of the worst things you'll ever. Like, I love my guy Bud Elliott, who does the Cover 3 podcast. I used to work with him in SB Nation. He used to run the Florida State site on SB Nation, and he had this whole. He was arguing why it's so silly for JMU and Tulane to be in over Notre Dame, and he got to a point where he said it's literally a safety issue.
What? A safety issue?
You can't have group. It's a high contact sport. Now
they're human beings in the same age range, in the same size range.
It's ridiculous. He says he was joking. Now he absolutely was not joking.
The joking.
He's like I can't believe awful announcing. Didn't realize I was joking.
I haven't played that card yet. I'm waiting for a really, really good moment in my career.
Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame last year, and Notre Dame went to the national championship game. Was not a safety issue whatsoever.
AMU's beat multiple ACC teams in the last few years.
Yeah. We have, first of all, if it's a safety issue, we have the best teams in college football scheduling FCS opponents every single year.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Georgia doesn't want to play us because they'd rather play someone that they can beat up.
Right. I mean, Alabama plays like Samford every single season, and nobody steps in and is like, whoa, this is a safety issue. We can't you need to play other power conference opponents just because somebody might die out there. Nobody ever says that. And now you're going to play that card when it comes down to the college football playoff, and we're talking about an 11-1 group of 5 team, which, by the way, played us very closely in their only shot. It's the dumbest thing out there. Joel Klatt, he tried to revise his take about March Madness being the worst postseason in sports today. He's like, look, I said some stuff I didn't mean. I get why I got jumped on. He revised the take, and it was like only slightly less crappy today. It was still absolutely absurd. He still was like, my whole thing is the best team in college football doesn't win it, or college basketball doesn't win it. You get crazy upsets and all these crazy seeds. And an 8 seed won the CFP last year in its first year of expanded existence. And when you look at the last 10 NCAA tournament champions in men's basketball, Roman, you know how many of them have been 1 seeds?
None.
8.
Wait, yeah.
Have been 1 seeds. 8
champions, yeah.
8 1-seed national champions, 1 2-seed national champion, 2016 Nova, which is still regarded as one of the best teams of the last decade, and then 1 4-seed, 23 UConn, which also is regarded as one of the better teams. The Ken Pom ranking of the last 10 national champions in men's basketball goes like this: 3, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 3. One of the 3 best teams in college basketball has won the NCAA tournament for the last decade.
The Cinderellas have less likely of a chance in basketball, and it's the best tournament. It's the best anything postseason.
What it all comes down, I don't understand. College football diehards seem to just hate actual football results, actual games. It's all this hypothetical, like, well, if they played again, this team would be favored, so they should. The games have to actually matter. Would 12-0 Boise State from 2006, after they beat Oklahoma, have gone on to beat Ohio State or Florida or whoever they needed to beat in a playoff format to win the national title? Probably not, but maybe. How do you know unless you actually play the games? Is a 12-0 team from the Sun Belt capable of staying on the field with a 12-0 team from the Big 12? Probably not, but maybe. How do you know unless you play the games? I've always hated the notion that in college football, you can beat every team you play at the highest level of the sport and not get a chance to play until you lose in the postseason. Is James Madison going to get thumped? Is Tulane going to get thumped? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out. I love that they at least have the chance. Now, the other thing that's come out today, it hasn't come out today. It's apparently been known for a long time, but everybody's just finding this out. I didn't realize that. So the original CFP agreement was just for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Starting next season, the format will change a little bit again.
Yep.
Everyone went nuts about this memorandum of understanding with Notre Dame that guaranteed Notre Dame to be in the playoff if they're a top 11 team in the rankings or a top 12 team in the rankings starting next season. I didn't realize that same, or I guess there are 3 more MOUs out there. One of them guarantees now that the winner of the 4 major conferences, they all get guaranteed spots in the tournament.
Yep.
So we're not doing the 5 highest ranked conference champions anymore. We're doing the Big 12, Big 10, SEC, and ACC champions, and then the highest ranked group of 5 champions starting next season. So there will be no potential to ever have what happened this season with Duke winning the ACC and getting left out, moving forward. If I'm the ACC, that means I've got to get these tiebreakers right because you can't have something like last year happen again. You've got to prop up your best teams. I know it seems silly, but if you have a down year, you've got to cook in.
Just go to a full 9 game.
Well, I mean, do that, but also you still can't do it because you have an odd number of teams. Maybe add UConn or just kick somebody out. I don't know, Boston College. Do you even want to play football anymore? Maybe just go somewhere else for football. Drop down to FCS.
If nobody schedules Notre Dame, they'll be in the ACC within a year.
I don't know, man. But you've got to cook CFP ranking into your tiebreakers somehow. If you want to guarantee that you've got a shot to get your best teams into the playoff, that has to be a thing moving forward, even if you feel like it's silly.
Get Notre Dame into the ACC, or no one schedule them.
Let's take a break. When we come back, Game Day Men's Health text line time, 502-414-1450 is the number. Whatever's on your mind today, we will take it. It's a gross Thursday outside. Let's have some fun in hour number 2. Keep it locked right here on 1450 and 96.1 Big X Sports Radio.
On the tree.
Hour number 2 here, the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, 1450, 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. We're going to make some CFP predictions a little bit later in the show, Roman.
Let's do it.
We got to make some predictions. I think we also need to pick a team that we want to root for because I have Georgia. No idea. You going for Georgia?
No, they canceled us, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, they're scared of playing us.
What's the best story out of actually someone likely to win?
We're going to dive into this at the start of the third hour. So let's save the takes. We'll think about it, and then we'll pick a team. Game Day Men's Health text line time, though, at 502-414-1450. Reminder, Game Day Men's Health, they got you covered when it comes to sexual performance, peptides, weight loss, or what's the other one? I've lost my notes. Weight loss, sexual performance, peptides. Testosterone needs. If you have needs in any of these areas, visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com and find out how they're redefining men's wellness. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Texture says, this is Roman Hater. I'm surprised no one has brought this up. Between having Kobe and Ollie on scholarship and not playing and limited minutes from Frank last year, and now this year having Zoo playing limited minutes and Kamara not playing, do we need a GM to help with roster construction? I don't know if Kloman's new role is supposed to help oversee that, but it's back-to-back years where we don't have depth in areas, but we have guys on the bench not contributing on the floor. I mean, we're playing 10 guys. Most teams don't rely heavily on 10 players. I don't think that depth is
you're playing 10 guys, Mike, and you still have more than a couple issues.
Well, I mean, most teams do. I don't think that this is, but he's saying the issue is, we've got Zoo out there as like an 11th man. We're redshirting Kamara. We needed to bring in more guys. I think the issue is we felt like we didn't have enough money for, I guess, a difference maker at the 4, or maybe we thought that some combination of Javon, Kanai, and Kaysen was going to work there. I don't think that the solution to our problems is to have a full 15 deck of 15 scholarship players. I mean, Kentucky's got that, and it's not exactly helping them.
I feel like he's saying Zugris and Kamara were just bad decisions.
And maybe they were. Maybe they were. I mean, they said when they signed Kamara that they thought he would be a really good college player at some point down the line. Like, they were pretty out in the open with their thinking that this was a future move. Zugris, I don't know exactly what they thought they were going to. I think they thought that he was going to be able to play a solid role in a game like Tuesday nights, where he could come in, throw his weight around, grab a bunch of rebounds, run the floor, and defend well. And maybe he's just not as far along as they thought. Because he plays hard, and he's clearly, like, he looks like a Greek god. He's super strong, but he gave us nothing when it came to helping us out with post defense. He got beat a couple times for dunks. He was out of position. He's offensively very limited. So I don't know if that was just a misavow or if it was they think he's going to be able to play a little bit this year and then be significantly better next year moving forward. I don't know.
I also think they were probably banking on a bigger jump from Kanai than we've seen in these kinds of games. And then I'm sure they had a vision of what Kaysen was going to be. And I don't know if he's at what they envisioned yet.
I think they also, like, they got, I hate talking like dollars and cents here, but this is the new world. They got Kaysen on the cheap. Kaysen initially wanted, he was the highest paid player on last year's team. He was the only guy making 7 figures. And he wanted the same type of deal to come back. And initially U of L was like, no. And he was like, all right, well, I'm going to go out. He never officially hit the portal, I don't think. But he definitely had his agent go out there and test the open market, realized that it was not going to be as lucrative as he was hoping for, and then came back to Louisville and was like, I'll play here for significantly less. I just want to be a card. He's not getting paid nothing, but he's not making nearly as much as what he did last year, and maybe that helped. Maybe if it came down to we can get Kaysen for $200K, $250K, and we'd have to shell out like $800K for a big-time power forward, we're banking on, like we feel like we got a deal, and maybe Kaysen's just recovery hasn't been as quick as they were hoping for. I don't know, but it's not like nobody else saw this hole on the roster. We talked about it all summer, and we got the first 3 guys so quickly, and then I think all of us were sitting here being like, all right, Frew looks like the guy at the 5. We've already got Khalifa there. The next big need is that classic 6'8", 6'9", bruising power forward. Let's go get him.
You requested it, too. I remember you saying you wanted something.
A bunch. And then time kept going on, and it was like, all right, I guess we're just not going to get that guy. And, we got Vaughn back. We ended up getting Kaysen back. Kanai came back, and maybe they thought that at least one of those guys would be able to make a difference. And look, it's December 18th. Maybe that'll still be the case. Maybe Kenai makes that gigantic leap that we've seen some players make in the second half of seasons. Maybe Kaysen will be the answer. Maybe Javon's good enough in all but like 2 or 3 matchups, and we're all just going crazy over nothing. But it certainly feels like the biggest just hole on this team. Right?
A little bit, yes.
Texture says Tampa card here. Might catch some heat for this, but pretty tired of Coach Kelsey getting up there in his post-game press conference and talking analytics. I understand the numbers are important, and that if the other team is scoring 1.4 points per possession, that's not good. But what's the purpose of analytics if you consistently don't make changes in your offensive or defensive schemes? Then he references rebounding and 50-50 balls. When the other team is longer, more athletic, and stronger than you, you're at a massive disadvantage in both of those categories. I mean, to be fair, like we did, I thought, I'm not saying anything about this year because we've been pretty much the same team from start to finish. We changed things up pretty well last season, I thought.
Yeah.
We went from taking a billion threes and playing at a breakneck pace early in the season to, in the second half, playing much slower, taking fewer threes. And, we changed our lineups up. We had to do different things because of the injuries. I thought he did a good job of adjusting accordingly. And that was one of the reasons why we were able to go 18-2 in the ACC. Now, this season, I feel like he hasn't really adjusted because he hasn't felt like he's needed to. We've only lost 2 games. Maybe this blowout being so jarring does force his hand a little bit to change some stuff up. Or maybe he says, look, we've lost 1 game with a fully healthy roster. Michael would have made a difference. I'm not going to overreact. That's a bad matchup. I don't know. But I don't think it's fair to say he just never changes things up. He's too stubborn because we saw him adapt, I think, really well last season to some stuff. What do you make? Have you seen the video out there? Now, Tennessee fans have found the video of him telling, I think it was Bishop, whatever the kid's name is for Tennessee. That's who Kelsey was talking to when Bishop Boswell, when he said, shut the bleep up. And now Tennessee fans are all over him.
I saw this. To me, it looked like that's who he was talking to.
You don't think so?
Not really.
It looks to me like Bishop Boswell says, stop crying, because Kelsey's complaining about how Tennessee was consistently touching the ball after it came out of the net to try and keep us from getting down the court and running. And they did end up getting teed up for it because Kelsey was going so nuts. He's yelling at the officials, and then Bishop Boswell says, stop crying. And Kelsey says, shut the bleep up, and then something else that you can't tell. But Tennessee fans are all up in their feelings about this.
I like this.
I don't hate it.
If that's what happened out there, I mean, that's basketball. Coaches are allowed to talk to players. Players are allowed to talk to coaches.
I mean, Kelsey gets into games. He loses himself a little bit. He's a competitor, no question. Text, hey, Mike, on the topic of getting a physical big man to counteract some of these teams that we've lost to, I think, unfortunately, it's a catch-22 in recruiting. You need a big man to counter what teams like Tennessee and Arkansas do, but the recruiting pitch isn't going to be about developing that player's mid-range or post-game because of the type of unbalanced offensive philosophy PK has. It's hard to ask a recruit of JT Toppin's caliber in the portal and tell him he's just going to be a lob or garbage man for your guards and swing players who are going to get the vast majority of touches and shots. In other words, I don't know how you sell this style of play to that type of player and tell him we'll need you offensively in these 4 to 5 games a year when our regular offense isn't working. This is a good point.
It is, and I agree. I initially agree, but I will say he had a big at Charleston. He asked to do all kinds of things. He hasn't had that kind of big here. Frew, I think, is the epitome of doing those little things in the Pat Kelsey system well. I like to think that if you got a JT Toppin, JT Toppin would be out there on the block making things happen. He'd be finding ways to get him open looks for 3 potentially as well. He'd find ways to unlock other things like him being a passer. I think when you have an advanced offensive mind like Pat Kelsey, that's just a matter of personnel. While we don't typically go after those kinds of players, if he got his hands on one, I would think that the offense would shift to a more balanced play style.
I think, though,
he had his big out. He had the Charleston big.
Yeah, but Charleston's different than that.
I get it, but he had that
he
guy out
couldn't
there
play
on
the way
block.
that he wanted to play at Charleston because you couldn't get those types of players there. I think the texter's right if we're talking about, and obviously like JT Toppin, Cam Boozer, those types of guys, like that's the extreme of all extremes. My issue is I'm not saying we need to get that type of power forward, the type of guy who you can shoot it a little bit but wants to play more inside. I want to get just like a big, bruising, defensive rebounding machine that can compete with guys like we don't need him to score a ton at the 4. We've got Frew who should be able to do a little bit of that. We need him to defend and rebound. Like that's I'm worried about giving up.
Somebody with a Sidney Curry build.
Yeah, Florida last year and this year, a guy like Ruben Chinyelu, he averaged like 7.6 rebounds last season for them, but he's big, he's physical, and he kept the other post players, the best post players in the SEC, from just dominating them in the paint, even though last year's team was backcourt heavy for Florida. You've got, every really, really good team in college basketball the last handful of years has had at least one guy like that. And I don't think we have that type. Like, I don't think that you can get – I think the Texas point is great. If you wanted to go out there, and maybe it hurt us when we were trying to get Yaxel or whoever, if you want to get a 4 who feels like they should be the focal point of an offense, but who isn't like an elite level shooter, that's going to be a tough pitch. I don't think we need that type of player, though. Would love to have him, and would love to see what Kelsey could do with him. But I think we just need sort of like I'm trying to think of a past player we've had who fits this mold. Just like a big, athletic workhorse who just is a defensive mind. Like some of the reserves that Tennessee has. Tennessee seems to always have like 8 or 9 of those guys on every roster. Get us one of those guys. Just big-bodied, physical 4 who rebounds, defends, and can score when he gets offensive rebounds and easy putbacks.
Need somebody, yeah.
That's what I want. We don't have that player on
low
this team.
center of gravity that's not going to move an inch. I mean, we haven't really had that kind. A Shane Bohannon, a Sidney Curry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the body type, not the play style necessarily,
right.
but the way that they go about grabbing rebounds, the way they go about staying in front of their man when they've got a post player on them. They're not giving up an inch. Mm-hmm. And on the rebounds, if you're not boxing out, if you're not prepared, they're all out. I'm not even saying it has to be like a 6'10" guy, but it's got to be someone. Have we even had a 230-pounder? Or I guess Zugris and Frew are kind of right there, but like under 6'10", 220, 230 pounds. We need somebody like that.
Yeah.
But also like over 6'7".
Agreed. Texas says, Dave, teacher from Jeffersonville, I got delayed thoughts on the games here. Number 1, I want to see more X and O plays from PK, even if it means slowing down. He was drawing up all kinds of stuff last year for open looks. Let's try to run more set plays and see if it helps jumpstart the offense. Feels like the free-flow offense gets stopped too easy. 2, please elaborate. Teams like Tennessee playing football on a b-ball court don't make it in the tournament. Happens every year. They foul out and flame out. So why does it really matter if you can't beat them?
Because they can win your early games in March.
Not saying that's my point of view exactly, but it's a point to consider. Bruising physical teams usually lose in March. It's fair, for sure.
The teams that are like fully that.
Now, granted,
Houston and Duke, they have the balance.
I think saying that Tennessee doesn't like get it done in the tournament is a little bit over the top when they've been like they're the only team that's been to back-to-back Elite Eights and finished in the top 5 each of the last 2 years. So they've had success. They just haven't gotten to a Final Four. I think when you draw that line and say everything besides getting to a Final Four is bad and means that your style doesn't work, I think that's a little bit over the top. Houston also plays that way, and they probably should have won the national championship last year. So I would push back a little bit on that. But like Roman said, just because they may not make it to the Final Four doesn't mean that you won't run up against that type of style in like the second or third round.
We lost to Kalkbrenner.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a bruiser just at his position for that team. Pretty soft Creighton team outside of him. We couldn't do anything with him on either end of the floor.
No.
And Malawak in the ACC tournament in that second half.
Yeah.
We couldn't do anything with him.
You look at the teams that are the best. Like I think Mbonga and Boozer give you that same type of combination inside this year for Duke. We're going to have to go through them at least twice this season. Gonzaga's got Graham Ike down low, who is and Braden Huff.
Jalen Carey shouldn't be doing that to you down there.
He shouldn't
off the
be.
bench like that.
That's the issue.
You should have a player on the bench that their ability is to negate players like him.
But my point is that a lot of the best teams in college basketball do have that physical element to them this year. And if we're going to be sitting there with them at the end of the season, we're going to have to beat a few of those. Like you can't make a Final Four this year without having to go through a Duke and Gonzaga and Arizona, UConn, or Houston. Like, one of those teams is almost certainly going to be in your region. You're probably going to have to play them, and we're going to have to find a way to combat that style at some point between now and 3 months from now. Texter says, Riddler here. I've been reflecting on how much better football schedules were when we first joined the conference because we had guaranteed games against FSU and Clemson. I've come to the conclusion that the ACC should just add one more team and make 2 divisions of 9, balancing them out so you have 2 to 3 good teams on each side. Our conference schedules have been exceptionally mid ever since the 2 divisions were removed. Also makes the 9-game schedule easy. There's a lot to consider, but I'd give Tulane and JMU a decent amount of consideration if Notre Dame can't be coerced and priority is a good football team, maybe steal from the Big 12.
I love it, but they wouldn't do it.
They won't do it, but it would fix a lot of the problems. If we had a 18-team conference, 2 9-team divisions, you go back to an 8-game conference schedule where you just play every team in your division once, and then the 2 best teams in the divisions play for a conference championship, it would seem to make a lot more sense. Now, people would hate it because you played nobody on the other side of the conference at any point. And like we would, if you had Miami on the other side, we'd never play Miami unless we met them in a conference championship game, and people would hate that. But if we're going to have these stupid mega conferences, you're going to have some stupid rules in place to begin with. I mean, there's no smart way to crown a conference champion anymore. In a season where you can play at the most 12 regular season games, when you've got 17, 18, 19, 20 teams in a conference, there's no way to do it fairly. It's just basic math, and we're not a math show, but we can recognize that. So why not just get as stupid as you possibly can? This whole thing is so dumb. These mega conferences are we knew it was going to be dumb. Everybody said it was going to be dumb, and it's even dumber than we thought it was.
Somebody with some oil money needs to come in here and switch some things up.
Take me back to 06.
Buy a new conference, make a new conference, go hand pluck like 2 of the top 6 teams out of each conference. Make a mega conference. Get Louisville, get Florida in there.
How about no conferences? Just no conferences.
That'd be best.
We don't need conferences anymore. Texas, I have a bunch of questions regarding the wank room. Oh, God. First, what would be the maximum capacity for people in it? One. Also, how would you prove that you spent time in the wank room? I'm there. Not in the room, but I'm watching you go in. 2, would there be cameras or a sign-in sheet?
It's a sign-in card. You scan your card, the door unlocks. You got to scan the card to come out.
Exactly. Roman, we're on the same wavelength here. This is why you're going to be my associate AD. Yes, all of those things. I'm making sure that it's used. I'm not watching you do it. There is a trust element here. I'm not like, checking. I don't need a sample or anything, but I'm making you stay in there for at least 15 minutes. All problems solved. I'd have the best running athletic department in America. I'm just telling you. Just give me a shot. Texas Dolphins guy here. I've got a friend that's a bad fan, and I'm here to put him on blast. I love this. This is what the holidays are all about, folks. In college, he was a diehard with me and went to every basketball game. He justifiably checked out during the worst of all time era, rightfully so, but has been particularly resistant to buy back in. Last year, he refused to watch the games until we, quote, beat a ranked team. I finally convinced him to go to the Pitt game where Chucky exploded, and he booed Rain because of a bad shooting night and was convinced he was a horrible shooter. He got excited this year when we signed Michael as a sign that PK has the goods. He further bought in when we smacked BBN. Now he's saying McNeely is another Rain. Adam, you suck, and you need to be called out. Tough look for Adam.
Yikes, Adam.
Let me ask you this, because we were talking about the level of vitriol Tuesday night when we lost to Tennessee. I mean, there were people saying crazy things. We're not a perfect basketball team, but we're 9-2 and we're ranked number 11 in the country right now. Things are, 99% of college basketball teams, 98% of college basketball teams would trade places with us in a second.
We're 11th, not first.
We're 11th. But, so I think it's okay to be upset when you lose by 21. We certainly were upset. But I still was shocked to see, Kelsey sucks. And this guy's got to go. This guy doesn't have it. We're never going to be good at basketball again. All of this stuff. Do you think that there's some part of, we were so understandably negative for 3 straight years when we had 3 straight losing seasons. We got so used to being this is terrible. I hate this. Oh my God. Making self-deprecating jokes. Is it difficult to shake that when you've embraced that mentality for an extended period of time and then things go back to quote unquote normal? Do you think that there's a little bit of like a hangover element where it's tough to get all of that out of your system?
Like there's not even like an in-between for us. I think it's either everything's on a positive trajectory, constantly getting better, improving, back to what we call the expectation, or it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
We got to experience the end of the world. We were roaming aimlessly through the end of the world for 2 years, and now it's back to being normal. And when normal has its days where it's negative, because that's what normal is, we go crazy a little bit. I'm saying we, me included. I mean,
yeah, everybody.
My buddies, the guys that I have Louisville fans who I'm close friends with, they even know basketball more than me on some of them. Some of them know U of L more than me. They won't even say things about Pat Kelsey. Now the players' talk will start to get a little bit out of hand. But I think that there's some people that just get really, really like it's been all positive hits of dopamine over and over and over from our Louisville basketball team since Pat Kelsey signed. And then you get these moments where it's like, wait a minute, this is the reality of college basketball. It feels like it's something that could potentially be a crumble for us because every little negative moment that we had before the end of the world came, you associate that with it being, that we're headed for hell, right? And that's not always the case. You know, we can be the 11th team and drop down to the 17th team at some point in the season and still get back up and even make a Final Four potentially, right? It's hard to view it like that when you only know negative, 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 negative. Wait a minute, are we on a trajectory that's going to lead to being the best team in the world? Question mark. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Back to negative.
I agree. I think when you spend an extended period of time defaulting to, like, this sucks, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, oh my God, I can't believe we're this bad, it stays with you a little bit. It's tough to get it all the way out of your system and not.
And then there's also, like, a lot of fans I've noticed who they can't fully buy in. They don't, like, they were so deep in the negative aspect of what was going on now that they are not, it's like they can't even, it's too good to be true, I think, for some fans.
Okay, I've got to interject here with something else. Quick hard look. So yesterday, the news came out that Ohio U football coach Brian Smith was fired, right? And they said it was alcohol-related conduct.
I saw this.
So they're like, oh, he's got alcohol bottles in his office, and he was drinking after games with coaches. And I was like, I mean, that doesn't seem like it's that bad, right?
Definitely not abnormal.
So a lot of people were like, there's got to be something else going on. Nicole Arbach, she says, now the Ohio University student newspaper is now reporting that Brian Smith was fired for not just the alcohol-related conduct, but engaging in extramarital affairs, including one with an undergraduate student. Know what I'm going to say? 3 words. Mandatory, wank, sesh. I don't know how much longer this has to go on before people start taking me seriously on this. I've given you, naming rights are out there. This is the blueprint. This guy could have saved his marriage, saved his job. It's his first year on the job. He couldn't go 1 year without banging a student.
Terrible.
Awful. You can fix that desire. You can cure that urge very quickly. Maybe you're scared to do it in your office. Would you be scared to do it in a room adjoining your office that's designed specifically for that purpose? Probably not. Probably not. And if you didn't do it, you'd be fired. Get him out of here. Ridiculous. Texter says, Mark Bug is the guy who works with Spears. I like Mark Bug. He's the man.
Yeah, they call him Bug. That's why I couldn't remember his name.
I enjoy him ripping on officials throughout games. I mean, he doesn't just rip on him. He's like, laughs at him. He's like, oh, my God. it's like, as Spears is calling the play, he's like, and then you'll clearly hear that they're seeing a replay, and he's like, it's wonderful. I like that this texter's also, his last text was, just to be clear, I don't wear a toupee at 8:08 this morning. I don't know where that came from.
That's Buzz.
What's up with Buzz?
I don't know. I think he's like our oldest listener.
What would you do with, would you ever consider wearing a toupee, Roman? No. I didn't either.
I feel like I could rock the bald look.
Yeah.
If it came down to it.
You could. Well, yeah, you got, it's. You look better with it than I do. It's the way that it goes. I've got disadvantages here. Texture says, since we play the same style as Bama, I looked at Bama's roster and stats. They've got 4 guys averaging 8 or more points that are taller than 6'7". We have 1. Bama's top 3 scorers are all guards, so big men don't have to be the best scorers, but they have to be effective. I think our play style is fine. I think Pat needs to recruit longer and taller bodies to run the system most effectively. Well, I think the follow-up question here has to be, like, would you rather be Bama right now than us? Like, we're talking about, your text sort of implies that Bama is this, we want to be them because they're way better than us. We're better than Alabama. Alabama's got 3 losses right now. They're ranked lower than us in every metric. Granted, all 3 of their losses are pretty understandable, but they've been kind of smacked around a little bit by those 3 teams that have beaten them. So I'm not sure I would want to trade places with them. But I see what you're saying. Let's take a break. When we come back, more from you guys on the text line, 502-414-1450. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical on the Big X. Classic here as we kick off the 4 o'clock hour. So my mom texted me during the break, Roman, and she goes, I was just in Paul's and I heard John Denver singing "Oh Night Divine" and I laughed out loud. Roman gave me a new Christmas music awareness.
It's his song.
He's written all these. They're all John Denver's. He loves them. So during the break, I don't know how well this will translate to radio, but I'm begging you all to watch. The account is at Jam Christopher, Jam Christopher. There's a video of, I guess, Lonzo Ball on the Ball in the Family podcast where he's on it, LiAngelo's on it. I don't know who the other two guys who are on it. I mean, this man is, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody this high just on this podcast. Lonzo, they ask him about classic discussion, like top 5 players in UCLA basketball history. He played there. You assume he has a little. He starts off by saying, well, UCLA didn't really have that much history. They won 11 national titles. No program in college basketball has more history than UCLA. And he's like, we don't really have that much history out there. And he doesn't know who like any of the players are before 2012. He's like me. He's like Zach, K-Love, and somebody else who's on the podcast. I don't know who the person is. He's like, Kareem played there and all this stuff. And he's like, Kareem played there? Yeah, that's right. Like Lonzo he's higher than a giraffe's ass out there. He is absolutely just schmammered and making no sense whatsoever. Knows nothing about UCLA basketball, Roman. Nothing.
Yeah, I saw that. That was bad look for Lonzo on that one.
LiAngelo knows nothing either. Like they're like, what about Reggie Miller? And he's like, Reggie Miller? He's like, what? It's just like they have got no clue at all about the program that they both suited up for. Granted, one of them was for like 2 games. I also was
on UCLA a little bit too, though. You got to get them tested, get them up to speed on all UCLA knowledge when they're there.
You'd think there'd be something like that, right? Like where you have like sort of an orientation. There's hey, we won 9 consecutive national titles. All the history. This guy was an All-American. This guy was National Player of the Year. Look at this guy. Apparently not though, or they just both were sleeping through it. Someone alerted me of this during the break too, or I guess when we were talking last segment. There's a former Louisville basketball player out there, Roman, who's at a new program now, who has scored 13 points or more in 7 consecutive games. Would you care to venture a guess as to who that is?
No. No idea.
What if I told you? We're looking for a 6'7" guy that can help us out. Karan Davis.
I had a feeling you were going there.
Karan Davis, the miracle man.
7 consecutive games. And I thought,
7 consecutive games of 13 points or more for Karan Davis at Alabama A&M. Now, he's a guard, so 6'7", 185, probably not going to help us. But they played Ole Miss last night. They only lost by 14. He dropped 14. 14 points. This comes after a 16-point game and an 18-point game last week. He put 13 up against Lipscomb in a 40-point loss, scored 14 against Tennessee State in a 27-point win over Nolan Smith's boys, and then 14 points against Coastal Carolina. He's lighting it up, Roman.
That's so crazy.
11.3 points, 5.6 rebounds per game at Alabama A&M.
So he's a starter.
He's playing 36 minutes a game. He's the second leading scorer on the team.
Wow.
He's the second leading rebounder on the team as well. Now, in true Karan Davis fashion, he's averaging 0.5 assists per game. he's not here to pass, guys. Karan don't pass. Karan's taking the shots out there. I'm so fascinated by this guy. I'll never stop being I don't know how we found him.
He got kicked off of Louisiana A&M last year? Or?
He was 2 for 2 in getting kicked off teams and then getting the head coach fired ultimately. And now he's at Alabama A&M, and he's out there just lighting it up. Lighting it up for the Bulldogs. But, I mean, I wasn't sure he actually existed. I thought I made him up. I thought he was a figment of my imagination. And now I'm seeing that I was like, I don't know if this guy knows how to dribble. I don't know if he's actually like Michael Jordan reincarnated. But turns out he can play a little bit.
Give him a look, Pat.
No, we don't need him back. I don't. I'm happy for him, but I would not want him back. I wonder he's listed as a junior. He's got to have at least one more year of eligibility because he played 2 seasons of JUCO ball, which now no longer counts against your D1 eligibility.
Didn't play for a year.
The funniest thing is there's no reference to U of L whatsoever on his official bio at Alabama A&M or on his team page at ESPN. there's just nothing. And he was actually on the team for a couple of games, but yeah, he good for him, you know? Been through a lot.
Making it happen.
Good for him. Game Day Men's Health text line is 502-414-1450. Let's continue along with your thoughts here on this, kind of like a little light Thursday. Not a ton going on. We'll talk a little CFP to start next segment. Texter says, we definitely need to put a basketball rim in the middle of a ball pit so Michael can practice not landing on his back. I think you said this earlier in the season, Roman. Michael falls down too much. Was that
always on the ground?
Was that a Roman take?
I don't remember if that was my take. I said it a couple of weeks ago, somewhere. He kind of flails about a bit.
He does. He lands hard too. Peyton Siva used to do that too, though, and he ended up being pretty good for us. Texter says, on your fire alarm, it's usually caused by a dust buildup or bugs in the sensor. I've looked into it, but this was different than the ones we've had in the past. Also can be from a dead backup battery, vacuum them, or blast them with a computer duster. Also, if you're using a humidifier in the room, it went off in. Steam can cause it as well. If it's not one of those, they likely need to be replaced. They usually are only rated for a 10-year life expectancy. I think we've looked into this, and they actually were pretty good. The crazy thing is, so our shower, it's kind of right there in the caddy corner next to where our bathroom is. We've had some steamy showers, and it has never made it go off. But yet, like a little bit of dust or a little bit of bug, whatever, makes it go off. This was weird because it wouldn't let me mute it and just kept saying, like, excessive smoke. I'm like, there's no smoke, let alone excessive smoke. Get out of here with this. Come on. Texter says, how do you feel about Gottlieb stepping away from his radio show to focus on coaching his team?
Good for him.
I'm not giving him credit for this. He's doing the bare minimum. He should have been doing this from day one.
Yeah.
The way it got phrased, I don't know if it was the beat writer for Green Bay, but he's like, listen to Doug Gottlieb's emotional response as he talks about stepping away from radio. He's a head coach of a D1 program. That should be his only job. It'd be like, listen to Mike Rutherford's emotional response as he steps away from his radio show to be the head coach of Bellarmine Knights. It's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do when you get a job like that. And now he's got a team that actually is decent. Seeing them a little bit. I'm happy for Jerry. Jerry Smith is on the staff there, and he's done a good job. But everybody's acting like they are now, like Gottlieb has been proven right. They're beating UC Santa Barbara. They're 266 on KenPom. Green Bay is a proud mid-major program. It's not like he has turned things around dramatically. They were 332 on KenPom last year and won 4 total games. They're better.
They surpassed that 4 wins, though.
Because they played 3 non-D1 teams already. But they beat UMass. That's something. They've got 3 D1 wins so far.
He actually might know basketball a little bit.
Well, he knows basketball.
I wasn't certain of that.
I mean, he knows enough. He played at a high level for 4 years. I don't question that. I do question him being like a guy that can relate to players and be a decent coach. And I don't think he's proven that yet. But like now everybody's just kind of like, good for Gottlieb. He's doing. I mean, and it is good for him. But like, it should have never been a thing. You're getting paid handsomely to coach a Division I men's basketball program. Focus on that. He says he's still going to do podcasts though, Roman. Texter says, with a notable exception of Trez, it seems like regardless of sport, women's basketball, men's basketball, volleyball, football, it always seems like the other teams we struggle most with have some big bruiser goon style players, while we're always more small finesse. I know those players don't just grow on trees, but God, I get tired of losing against them over and over and over. I mean, maybe we have some size in women's. We never have. I mean, we got McKinley, who's pretty big and kind of intimidating in women's basketball. But yeah, we've never played a style under Walsh where we've wanted to have a big bruising center. I think we've had some aggressors down there over the years, though. Maisha was kind of cut from that cloth. Volleyball, it does seem like we're always undersized against the best of the best, but we're also comparing ourselves to, like, we're not looking at the 97% that we are bigger than and more physical than. We're looking at
like
the 2%
powerhouse programs that we lose to.
Right, that we aren't, which I don't know if that's the right perspective, but I get it. I mean, football is just, it is what it is. The biggest programs are going to be the best programs, and we historically have not been that. So I think it's kind of hard to lump that in with the others. But men's basketball, yeah, we haven't had a ton of those bruising forwards like usual. But once we get into the ACC, I think we're going to be about as big and physical as all but 2 or 3 teams in that conference. But you want to be the best of the best. I get it. Texas PRTG here. The founding fathers should have built a wank room for elected officials. Congress could use one now. Look, start small, get big. We're starting with cleaning up athletic departments. Soon, the rest of America. Are you talking about an Ellis Miles type, Mike? Yeah, would love an Ellis Miles type. I'll say it again. Show them Bad Boys highlights. Wouldn't overcooked beans burn and harden? We will get harder as the season goes on. Let's get hard and support the team. Putty voice. Thank you, PRTJ. Yeah, Ellis was definitely one of those types of players.
Slightly overcooked beans would be soft, but I get where you're coming from.
What happens to beans if you just leave them out in the sun all day? Do they prune up like raisins?
No.
Has anyone even tried?
Probably not.
I would assume somebody has. Little Dumper says, everybody that says it's a safety issue for the G5 to play power conference teams should cancel all their FCS games at the beginning of the season. Alabama plays the Citadel every year, week 11.
And you can't accept any transfers from those teams either.
It's the worst argument I've ever heard. Just absolute nonsense. Terrible. A lot of people have been having bad arguments over the last 3 weeks, and they just seem to be piling up.
Last year's Heisman started a school like that. Come on.
Yeah. Texas Jody's reporting that UK went hard after Steve Ellis, and he turned them down. Suck it, Stein. I mean, does UK have a single coach that isn't associated at least somewhat with Louisville at this point? I don't know.
Basketball?
Will Stein's also trying to do the whole Zone 6 thing that Chris Barkley does. Like, anytime a big former Louisville running back has a big game, like Jawar Jordan over the years, like he tweets out Zone 6, and now Will Stein's tweeting out the same thing when it comes to, they just got a new wide receivers coach, Joe Price. They just want to be us, very clearly. He's trying to build Louisville East.
Terrible.
What do you think this does for the rivalry? Because,
well, they're still going to suck, so not much.
Okay. I think it, honestly.
But they'll have a fun offense, right? So
we've been in this position before where we've had high-profile coaches or administrators with Kentucky backgrounds. I mean, we just had Kenny Payne. We've had, Schnelly coached at UK. Vince Tyree made a big deal that he had played baseball at UK and all this stuff. And it's been a thing. All the members of the Board of Trustees that were UK graduates. This is the first time, I think, where it's been kind of the shoes on the other foot. The problem for Will Stein is, I feel like if he struggles now with all these U of L head coaches underneath him or U of L former coaches underneath him, he almost gets more criticism because UK, they don't want to be associated with anything Louisville. If it works, great. Then it's like, ha-ha, point and laugh at Louisville. We took your coaches and we got better.
All these Louisville guys coming in here, they don't know football.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, if they lose, it's like we got Stein, we got Nocta, Colby Smith. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we trying to be Louisville East? Get him out of here. Send him back to Louisville. I'm telling you, like, it'll be more hostile for him in year 3 if he's not getting it done because of all the Louisville blood on his staff than it would be if he were just like a tried and true Kentucky boy or a coach with zero ties to the state whatsoever. You're playing a dangerous game, Will. Dangerous game. I don't know if you want to go down this road, but I think you're too far gone at this point. I think it's great for the rivalry, though, from our side, because now we have added motivation. We've got some of their coaches. They've got some of our coaches. They've got a former quarterback. If you beat them, it feels even better now at this point. If they beat you, it feels even better. Like that game, regardless of what the team's records are, like the stakes are going to remain extremely high.
It'd be more anticipated than it was the last couple of years, we think.
Lazard guy says, I think we'll see more Zoo going forward. Outside of a couple bye games, Tennessee was the first time that he got real minutes. He played a little bit against Memphis. Do you think we're going to see more Zoo moving forward?
Slightly more. I don't think he ever regularly passes that 10-minute mark.
I don't either. But I think that's sort of what we expected of him.
Yeah, he's not even at that consistent mark yet, so if we can get him to there.
He wasn't playing in our bigger games earlier at all. and now he's getting a little bit of time.
Get 4 good minutes in the first half, 4 or 5 good minutes in the second half. Playing the hardest of anybody within a mile radius every time you touch the floor. I could see him being in that role for sure.
Texas says, I'm fully embracing how carny college basketball has become. Bring on the Mongolian pros. I'm waiting for midseason recruiting to go full-on major league where PK calls a recruit who says he'll think about it, but has a guy on the other line about some white walls.
I was thinking about this the other day.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for the sake of me, just in an unrealistic fantasy, but like NBA players coming back over to the college scene, radio host, coaching teams. Mike, there's a path for us out there.
I've been trying to get the DePaul job for 15 years now. They won't give it to me. They finally blocked me on Twitter. the DePaul athletic department like 7 years ago, because every single time they'd fire a new coach, I was like, I had a whole pitch for this. My guarantee, I said, I'll take over the job. The entirety of like the Card Chronicle community is going to be my assistant coach. They get to help me make decisions. We'll like vote on stuff. And I guaranteed that I wouldn't finish dead last in the Big East because they had finished dead last in the Big East for like 11 consecutive years. And my whole thing was, I'll agree that if we finish dead last in the Big East, I'll get paid no money. No money. But I was guaranteeing it, and they wouldn't hire me.
I don't see how you can turn down that deal.
It'd be a great story. Couldn't get any worse. At least you'd have some positive attention or some attention for a change.
You breaking clipboards out there?
I'll be flipping out, just going nuts, full Ted Lasso style. I'm like, I don't know exactly what you guys want me to do, but we're going to coach ourselves together and we're going to have some fun. We're going to get outside the box and we're going to win at least 4 Big East games. I stand by that pitch. They're a little bit better now, but not a lot better. Probably going to finish last or second to last this season. Texas says, as much as we're still talking about the road game at Tennessee, did either of you foresee that we would potentially go 11-2 against this non-conference schedule?
That was my prediction.
Yeah,
I thought you were at 10-3.
I may have been at 10-3. I know I've picked us to lose 3 games so far this season. The 2 that we lost, and then I picked us to lose against UK. It's not, if you had kind of laid out the way that the seasons would go for the teams on our non-con schedule, I think 11-2 would have been reasonable for people to project. We didn't know Kentucky was going to be this whatever. Memphis and Cincinnati have been bad. If we beat Baylor, and that didn't even feel like a non-conference game because it's right in the middle of conference play, but I still would be okay with 11-2. I hate that our 2 losses are the 2 road games against maybe the 2 best teams in the non-conference schedule. Would have liked to have won at least one of those, but it's still you've still got the basis for a good overall resume, right?
Yeah, you handle business in those other games.
Yeah. Texas, have you seen the viral video of Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson celebrating the NBA Cup? Chris the Plumber wishes he was part of it. Why do you have to take a shot at Chris the Plumber? Yes, I've seen the video. Josh Hart, let's just say it, sticks his finger in Jalen Brunson's butt as they're celebrating. I don't know how he thought that wasn't going to get picked up, he tweeted about it. He's like, I got caught in 4K or whatever. Yeah, you were on the stage with cameras all around you holding up a championship trophy. Of course, you were at the front. It wasn't even at the back of the pack.
I didn't see this.
Oh, you didn't see this? It's been a whole thing.
Right in the very front.
He's like, I can't believe people caught it. Of course they caught it. And you can tell Jalen Brunson's like, dude, what the hell? What are you thinking? It definitely took attention away from the celebration and their win. It's the most blatantly obvious thing you're ever going to see. Just thumb right up the butt. And Jalen Brunson's turns around and is like, dude, what the hell? Roman, give me your NBA minute, your quick reaction to the Knicks winning the NBA Cup.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. I thought the Spurs would be able to handle business in that game with the way the Wemby's looked, the way the kind of hype they've had in the games he has played in, and they can't obviously come off the victory against the Thunder going into the NBA Cup, thinking, okay, yeah, they just put the league on notice. I think they're going to put the league on notice again here right now and kind of solidify themselves as a team that's right there, potential contender. And I obviously still think they could be that, having lost to the Knicks. But Jalen Brunson and them guys get the job done there late in that game. They're just much better execution on the offensive end, turning defense in the offense, forcing turnovers. Not enough Wemby minutes, if I'm being honest. I thought that was a bit interesting. Spurs play Wemby more in that fourth quarter. You probably have a different outcome, as he is the best defender on the planet. But nevertheless, the Knicks are serious. I think that they have to be viewed as a team that can really make something happen now because of, one, how the East looks, being kind of empty on the East. I mean, the Raptors, it's the Pistons, the Knicks, and then kind of everybody else. You expect the 76ers to be better. The Celtics have been impressive for what they're working with, and the Raptors have obviously been good. But like we said, there's no Pacers, there's no Bucks, there's no serious Cavalier play happening right now, which is unfortunate for the Donovan Mitchell side of things. But it's the Thunder, it's the Nuggets, and it's everybody else.
I didn't ask you this on Monday because obviously we were distracted. We had a lot of Louisville stuff going on. But we did have the Thunder's second loss over the weekend. It was to the Spurs with Wemby coming off the bench. What do we make of this? Competitive game, but, you know.
Nah, I mean, it's more of a something to say for the Spurs. The fact that they can go and for their best player being on the bench, coming off the bench, him coming in and not kind of messing up what they had gotten going in the last couple of games without him, and slotting him right in, which I get it's Wembanyama, but at the same time, and it's a player that offensively he kind of has to be created for or have the ball in his hands. But defensively, he's just the best addition you can have. Him and Chet are a real rivalry. They hate each other.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where's that stem from? Just like the coming up to high school?
No. Well, I mean, Wemby wasn't here in high school. It was the USA.
That's right. They played games when they were in high school.
Wemby's first gold medal opportunity got taken away by Chet. And I also learned that Wemby, he wants that gold medal just as bad as he wants an NBA championship.
Oh, really?
And he's already lost 2 gold medal games to the USA. So
got a lot of French pride.
Yeah, Chet kind of being the culprit of that, and then him kind of knowing that next time he faces USA in a medal-seeking opportunity, Chet's going to be the guy on the other side. So that rivalry is established. You like to see it. We kind of needed this. The Thunder and are a team that's obviously the best and going to continue to be good and has a young roster. Now it's kind of establishing a team that has other young players that are on the star path with a young star center to kind of rivalry Wemby, even though they're in different tiers. It's fun. It's exciting. A lot of aggressive play happening with the top teams in the NBA right now.
I like it. Kevin Garnett also has been added to the Timberwolves staff in an off-court role. Yeah.
That's ESPN lacked there.
He's handling business operations, community outreach, fan engagement, and content.
Yeah, that means ESPN.
We're going to pay you to hang out with the team.
He's one of the better personalities out of ex-retired players in that podcast situation. I think ESPN probably should have tried to exploit that, if I'm being honest. Get him on a TV in front of a couch in a Peyton Manning, Eli Manning kind of a basketball situation, and you are going to do numbers. And no one seems to understand those kinds of things. They didn't get me in there, Mike.
Apparently, they do. Apparently, though, the big reason for this is because there'd been animosity between the T-Wolves and Garnett for a while, which has resulted in them delaying the retirement of their jersey. Yeah, and now this paves the way for it to actually happen at some point, either next season or the second half of this season, whatever.
Yeah, he's
the most famous. I mean, he's still who I think of when I think T-Wolves.
Their best player ever.
When I think of Timberwolves basketball, I think Kevin Garnett, and then I think Steph Marbury.
It's their last MVP winner.
Yeah, he's a beast. Texture says, shout to Danny Manning. Danny Manning knows talent. Went out there and got us Karan Davis for no reason. He knows what he's doing. Texture says, is there going to be a Yank urinal? For an easy capture and disposal of the produced. You guys are making fun of this, and it's ridiculous. You're not taking it seriously enough. No, there's no urinal. It's gross. Oh, what if you need to pee? I take it back. Not a terrible idea. We're taking it into consideration. We'll work with the sponsors. We could have an additional sponsor for the urinal. It could be the KFC urinal. Texas, speaking of Lonzo Ball, when are we getting the Buzzball interview? I did not line up the Buzzball interview. We should have. We could have gotten Lonzo on the show.
And free Buzzballs.
Well, I gave you some free Buzzballs, yeah. Texas says, Mike, when you say 6'7", you have to wave your hands up and down. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be held captive by this stupid trend that needs to go away now, where I can't say 67 or 6'7" or anything like that anymore without having to acknowledge it. I love that it's giving the kids.
Does your brain not say it in your head?
No, see, I never.
You're lucky then.
But I'm not. I guess I'm not that young. I'm not that online. I'm not that. I still don't ever I don't see it enough for that to be a thing. I'm clearly aware of it. But when I hear, 6 or 7, I don't immediately go, 6, 7. Maybe now I will, and people keep pointing it out.
See the LSU women's team?
See, I like that. I think that's fun. Like with all when they have the elementary school day at these women's basketball games and men's basketball games, and when you get to 67 points, the crowd goes nuts. The kids love it. The players are doing it. I think those have been fun. I think that's the good part about this trend. But when the kids that young are all doing it, and it's becoming like, I was at my daughter's thing, her Christmas play the other day. Like, the priest came out in front of the kids and was like, 6, 7. I was like, okay, this is how you know that it's done. At this, like, when priests are doing it and my wife is asking me about it, that's how you know that, like, the actual kids that started the trend, they've moved on months ago. It's over. But it's not going away with those people anytime soon. Let's take a break. When we come back, there are CFP thoughts. We got to pick a CFP team that we want to root for. We're going to make some predictions. We're going to talk about the college football playoff. I've also got a crazy story that I want to start the hour with. We'll do that after the break. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio.
At this very special time of year.
Yet another John Denver classic here as we start the third hour of the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Roman Kelly here as well. Give him a follow on Twitter at Romy Bean. If you've been hurt in an accident or on the job, only one place to go here locally. It's the Collier Law Firm. Tony Collier and the crew, diehard Louisville fans, lifelong Louisvillians. They know this area, and more importantly, they know the insurance companies because every member of that firm spent years working for the insurance companies. They've all got insurance defense backgrounds. They've got the other side's playbook, and they know how to use it. Give them a call today at 502-736-8141, or you can visit them online at collierlawfirm.com. That's YERlawfirm.com. If you've been hurt in an accident or you've been hurt on the job, call your law firm. All right, Roman, are you ready for your weird story of the day?
Yes.
A missing Kentucky girl has been found alive with a new identity 42 years later, and she had no idea that she was ever a missing Kentucky girl. A woman who was abducted when she was just 3 years old was found alive and well more than 4 decades after her disappearance, with no knowledge that she'd ever been a victim in the first place. Michelle Marie Newton was first reported missing from on April 2nd, 1983. Her mother, Deborah Newton, allegedly moved the pair from Louisville to Georgia to, quote, begin a new job and prepare a new home for the family. But she then left her husband, who was Michelle's father, in the dust. And the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said that no one knew where they went after that. The missing child was none the wiser for a staggering 42 years. Now 46 years old, Michelle was raised under a different name. Her mother, who's now 66, started going by Sharon, according to a the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. After Deborah allegedly abducted the child, Joseph Newton tried to track them down. He told WLKY that he last spoke to his wife sometime between 1984 and 1985, after which point she vanished entirely. Still, the search continued on until the year 2000, at which point the case was dismissed because prosecutors could not reach Joseph. 5 years later, Michelle was removed from the nationwide missing child database. By then, she would have been around 25 years old. The case was reopened in 2016 at the request of a family member, but there still weren't any developments until police received a Bullseye Crime Stoppers tip in 2025. The tip led authorities to Deborah's home, which was in the Villages, Florida, on November 24th, where she'd been living in the famed retirement community under the name Sharon Neely and had a new husband. In body camera footage obtained by WESH2, I guess that's the Florida News Department, a police car rolls into Deborah's driveway and a friend jokes, "They're coming for you, Sharon." Deborah laughs it off, but one of the deputies plainly states that they were, in fact, here for you, ma'am. After cutting off Deborah, who once held a spot on the FBI's top 8 most wanted parent kidnapping fugitives list, police went to Michelle's doorstep and delicately shattered her reality. You're not who you think you are. You're a missing person. You're Michelle Marie Newton, they told her. From there, Michelle phoned the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and planned a long-awaited reunion with her father. Her father told WLKY, "She's always been in our heart. I can't explain that moment of walking in and getting to put my arms back around my daughter. I wouldn't trade that moment for anything. It was just like seeing her when she was first born. It was like an angel." Deborah was arraigned on a felony charge of custodial interference. Michelle and Joseph were both present at her arraignment. Michelle didn't appear to immediately take a side. She said, "My intention is to support them both through this and try to navigate and help them both just to wrap it up so that we can all heal."
It's a mature way to look at it.
I mean, I don't know.
So she was kidnapped from by her own mother
When she was 3. So you've got no, the psychologists say that you can't have any sort of conscious memories before the age of 4, I think. So she's got clearly like no memory of who her dad is, no memory of what life was like before she moved to Florida. And it just, I know
her mom changed her name to Sharon.
Yes.
What was the Crime Stopper call? What did Sharon do? Run a stop sign?
I don't know. They don't go into depth about that. They give you no insight.
That's what's the weirdest part. Like, after this many years, what caught him up?
I can't believe that it's, I know we're talking about the 80s and things were different back then. I still can't believe that it was that easy for somebody with a family. It's not like you're leaving a small city. Louisville's a relatively big city, to just disappear.
For good.
To just nobody can find you.
New names.
It's crazy for 50 years essentially to just be gone. And then I think the other weird part of that is they said they stopped the case in 2000 because they couldn't get in touch with the dad. What was the dad doing?
Where did he go?
Why is he just stopping communication at that point? I just forget about the parents. I can't imagine she's 5 years older than I am.
Forget about the parents. The mom's a nut job.
Well, for right now. Like, my bigger interest is, like, how difficult would it be for the remainder of your life to come to grips with reality when for the first 46 years of your life, you thought you were somebody, and then you found out at basically the halfway point of your life, or maybe more than halfway through your life, none of that was true. Like, you live 46 years thinking that you are such and such, and you grew up in Florida, and whatever story her mom told her about her dad is the reality, and then bam, you're 46 years old. Hey, guess what? This isn't your name. That's not where you were born. Your dad's been looking for you for the past 4 decades. That's your reality.
All because your mom.
Yeah.
Her personal stuff and whatever she was going through. That's unacceptable. That was like, I'm not speaking to that mother again.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough, too, especially, it doesn't sound like her mom mistreated her. It wasn't like she took her away so she could lock her up in a basement and abuse her for 4 decades. It sounds like she was probably a good mom. So imagine you feel like your mom is your, like how we feel about all of our moms. Like we love them and we're close to them. And then boom, after all that, you find out that she kidnapped you and kept you away from your dad for 45 years. It'd be difficult to just completely wipe away all of the good memories from your upbringing and your childhood and your adulthood and just say to hell with this person. I can understand why she's conflicted right now. I don't know how I would handle. I'd probably just go insane. Like, it'd be weird. It'd be a thing that was almost impossible to wrap your mind around.
That's insane.
Very crazy.
That is insane.
Very wild. Just like today, someone comes up. I mean, it's more like me. Like, somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, your parents aren't actually your parents. They kidnapped you from Nova Scotia when you were 3. You're actually Canadian. I'm like, what? It's just terrible. Hopefully she gets the help she needs. And hopefully, I mean, the mom has to do some jail time, right? Like, I don't care if you treated her well for 43. You can't kidnap a kid and not tell the dad where you're going. I think it's also weird that the dad had contact with her for at least a year or two after she left. Like, he says, I had no she left in 83. The last contact he had with her was 84, 85. Well, what were you guys talking about then? I'd be like, hey, where are you? I'm coming to get my damn daughter back. I'm not stopping at anything to get my kid.
And she said no. And he said, back then, that's all it took. There's nothing he can do now.
I guess that's true. I guess you can't,
You're tracking that number.
There's no tracking phones. There's no, like, hey, where'd this Facebook post come from? It's a little bit more difficult back then. All right, let's talk a little CFP. So we've got the college football playoff starting tomorrow. You've got one game going down. It's Oklahoma versus Alabama, and then 3 games on Saturday. James Madison, Oregon, Tulane, Ole Miss, Miami, Texas A&M. The top 4 seeds, Indiana, the Cinderella story, the craziest story that I've ever seen in college football, Ohio State, Georgia, perennial powerhouses, and then Texas Tech, also kind of sort of a, not traditional powerhouse with a bye. Who are we rooting for here? Because there are pros and cons to every team here.
I don't want to see Miami win anything, but
they're ACC.
And we beat them.
And we beat them.
So that would look good for us.
I mean, so
AMU as well. We beat them.
Let me just say, I mean, are we both saying, like, I want chaos. I want to see Cinderella win. I'm rooting for James Madison and Tulane to win their first round games. I think we both acknowledge they've got no real shot to win the national championship.
Yes.
So are we on the same page there saying we hope they win their games, but like we can't pick them to be our national champion?
Can't really even root for them to win the national championship when you just know it's not. I can't say not possible, but
if they did, that would be awesome. But it's probably not going to happen.
No. But that's who we're rooting for in those first games, yes.
No question. So we've got Ohio State. Safe to say we're not rooting for Ohio State. I don't like the Buckeyes. They won last year. Get them out of here. Georgia, they canceled our series. I'm not rooting for Georgia. Right?
Nope. They ducked our smoke.
What do we do with Indiana? This is a weird one because they also ducked our smoke. I've always wanted to see like a bizarro.
I want them to crash and burn.
Okay. I've always wanted a bizarro college football national champion, something that has never happened in my lifetime. We've never, I guess TCU probably was like the closest, and they lost by 70 points in the national title game. Indiana would be an all-time bizarro college football national champion. And they're the 1 seed. It's a crazy sport, but they make me insanely jealous. I don't like that this program, which is just a couple of hours up the road, that has always been worse than us. Now, not just are they better than us, They're the best team in college football potentially, and they're 3 wins away from winning a national damn championship. I'm torn on this. My gut says I got to pull against them, but also I can't root for Alabama or Oklahoma to beat them. But you're saying you're all in on IU crashing and burning.
Yep.
Okay, so you're saying no to Indiana.
I don't want to see Indiana win it.
What do we think about Texas Tech? Also not a ton of history. They've got big oil money down there, though.
When's the last time they won one?
Texas Tech's never won a national championship.
Give me Texas Tech then.
So Texas Tech is a contender.
I don't want
for
to see Carson Beck hoist that trophy. I don't think Cristobal coaching ability deserves hoisting that trophy. Georgia, if they even kept the second game, I could root for them.
You're not having it.
Not having it.
Texas Tech, I mean, I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other. They've always just kind of been a whatever program.
They want to play us here in a couple of years. We can maybe have them look good right now. When they go into that game, it's an even bigger game for us.
Now, usually I kind of like Oregon. They're one of those power conference programs that I find it easy to root for. They're on the other side of the country. I've got no beef with them. I feel like we can't pull for Oregon because they got Kentucky's head coach now calling the plays, right?
Oh, is he going to be doing that still?
Yeah, he's still the OC.
Oh, I want them to crash and burn.
And, if Oregon goes out there and wins a national championship, Kentucky fans are going to act like they win a national championship. They're like, that's our guy. He's calling the plays for the best offense. See? I don't want that to happen.
Madison's going to beat them.
I hope so. Where are we with Ole Miss? Because that's a unique situation, too.
For the sake of just, hating what Lane Kiffin's done and feeling kind of bad for the Ole Miss team, like the players, I'm not saying I'm rooting for them even, but I think it would be a cool story for Lane to make this big old deal, clearly basically show with your decision that you believe LSU in its current state is a better job than what you are currently doing by coaching a college football playoff team. They, say adios, we're good without you, and win it all. I think that would be awesome.
I think it'd be hilarious. There's a big part of me that kind of if they beat Tulane, I will definitely root for them to beat Georgia in the second round. But at my core, I've got to be anti-SEC, right? I can't have an SEC. I don't want an SEC team to win this whole thing. I think it'd be funny if 3 straight years in the playoff they didn't have a team in the championship game after doing all of this. The sport should revolve around us. I don't want anybody from the SEC to win it. If someone has to, I kind of want it to be Ole Miss. But I'm rooting against them in the first round. I want Tulane to win. But if they make it to the quarters, I want them to beat Georgia.
That's fair.
I'm kind of against. I feel like I've got to be rah-rah ACC here.
I hate Carson Beck.
We've got an ACC-SEC matchup. We beat Miami. People think that they aren't worthy of getting in. I'm kind of rooting for Miami here. Miami's kind of the team that
This is the toughest one because obviously, you know me, I want the ACC team to win.
Sure.
That's the one team I didn't want it to be.
I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Miami as a football program, but I feel like our hand is being forced here.
As it's a team, you know what? You know what? You're right. We need Miami to win, actually.
I just got some additional information.
When do we play Miami again next?
Not next year.
I know a team that's won a national championship in the last couple of years. If we go on and beat that coach, a championship pedigree type of team now, would you get to call them that when we go and smack up on them again? I like that.
Can I tell you something that's going to blow your mind?
What's that?
This is via Sean Moth, who always has the best fact. Yeah, just texted me. This is you're going to be all in now at this point. John Denver attended Texas Tech University.
Really?
Yes. He sang in a folk music group called the Alpine Trio while studying architecture there. He dropped out of Texas Tech in 1963 and then moved to Los Angeles. Star took off. I feel like Texas Tech is your team. This is your squad for the playoffs.
John Denver's an Aggie.
Red Raider. Very big difference. Texas A&M is the Aggies.
Oh, that's right.
He's a Red Raider.
That they're the Aggies.
No.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either. Sean Moth.
This time of year, it's all aligning.
I feel like you're all in. The Red Raiders are a Roman squad.
But, Mike, we play them.
What do you mean?
Well, in a couple of years.
No, we play Texas A&M. You're confusing A&M and Tech again.
That's what I'm saying. We play A&M in a couple of years.
I know, but I'm saying Texas Tech is your team. Texas Tech is where John Denver went.
Oh.
Texas Tech is the team that you initially picked. You're all in on the Red Raiders. We play Texas A&M in 2 years.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know if Texas Tech's good enough.
That's your squad. Doesn't matter if they're good enough. That's who you're rooting for. That's your team.
All right.
The stars have aligned. I think besides the 2 group of 5 teams, I'm kind of pulling for Miami. I don't think they realistically have a shot to win the national title. I think they'll get stomped by Ohio State if they're able to get by A&M. But that's who I would root for. Let me ask you this. If it came down to Indiana versus Ohio State in a rematch, or hell, I mean, I won't say Georgia because I think I would have to root for Indiana over Georgia. If it came down to Indiana versus Ohio State, Big Ten versus Big Ten.
Give me Ohio. Give me Indiana. I don't want to see Ohio State go back to back.
See, like on one hand, it's kind of like Ohio State's. It's not like they become a bad program if they lose. Like they're still like arguably the kings of college football, even if they lose in the national title game. It doesn't really hurt their profile that much. And it elevates Indiana to a status that it can never really be. You can't take away a national title from Indiana. I don't care what the NCAA does. Jokes write themselves. But if you are a national title winning program in football, it changes the perception of your entire athletic department forever, I think. I don't know if I want Indiana to have that boost, but I think I would have to go for IU just to shake up the sport, just to shake it up.
I can't fathom it. Give me Ohio State. I can't fathom it.
Here's why I would say Indiana. I like the note. The powers that be in college football for years and years and years have always told us like something like what's happening with Indiana. It's not possible. The best are always going to be the best. It's not even. It'd be silly to have little old Big East Louisville playing for a national title in 2006. We all know those types of programs can't compete with the best. And I think we've always been like the people who want more parity in college football have said if you open it up to a playoff, you got the potential of having the SEC exposed. You got the potential of having the big dogs exposed. And I think it would be cool if in just the second year of the playoff, the national championship winner would be a program that historically has been like one of the 5 worst power conference football programs in the entire sport. I think it would be like, okay, this is a new world we're living in. We have expanded playoff. We've got NIL. The playing field has never been more level than it is right now, and that would give hope to a lot of programs, including ourselves, that we could at some point get to the promised land. I don't like that it's Indiana that's potentially doing it, but I guess it's better than Kentucky. Give me James Madison win the national.
Yeah.
Go Dukes. Let's get this thing done. Do you want to make some?
We need the ACC team to win it.
That's why I'm kind of like rah-rah Miami, which I hate doing. I hate being that guy.
I'm trying to just say yes, Miami, and boo Carson Beck. Hope they win. He doesn't have any success after that. But
I'll make it easier on you. They're playing Texas A&M, that weird Colt. They're easy to root against.
Yeah.
We don't like A&M. Get them out of my face. Stop with this.
But A&M, that's the one team we play on here going forward that
I don't care.
Elevates that game for us.
It's 2 years down the line. Who knows what they do? They can win the national title next year, or they could stink next year. Who cares? It's a day-to-day. It's a day-to-day world we're living in right now, Roman. Things change from the greatest thing in the world to the worst thing in the world in the span of 5 hours. So you can't look that far ahead.
Coach could end up in jail next year.
You could probably just going to end up having an extramarital affair because I don't trust that AD out there to have a proper wank sesh. That's just that's the way that it goes. 502-414-1450 is the Game Day men's health text line. We'll make predictions for the playoff tomorrow. We'll go ahead and make our first. We'll probably just fill out a whole bracket and say what we think is going to happen. We've got a kind of a light night in sports. College basketball night is terrible. Georgia's the only top 25 team in action. A couple Florida State teams are a couple of ACC teams are in action. FSU, your boys, are playing Mississippi Valley State, who is the worst team in college basketball this season. There's no line on that game. FSU should win by $1 billion, and then Cal will host Morgan State at 10 o'clock. Bad basketball night, but you do have an NFL game, and it's a pretty good one tonight. Rams, Seahawks, 2 teams fighting for that top seed in the NFC.
Really good one.
Very good one. 8:15 on Prime Video. Matt Stafford getting it done. Blasted the Lions last week. Was depressing. That'll be a good game. We'll make some predictions for that coming up at the end of next segment. We'll take a few texts here to wrap up this hour at 502-414-1450. Texter says, Mike, Should we be worried about the Jeff to Michigan rumors? No.
3 days in a row now. Someone's asked.
No. He's not going to Michigan. It's not happening. Not going to say with 100% certainty, but it's 99%. He ain't going to Michigan. Texter says, Joe Angelo, the man to know. Why did Karan get kicked off the team? This is someone's first text. Is his name John Angelo?
I think so.
John Angelo's the man to know. Are you giving yourself a nickname on the very first text into the show?
First text of the day nickname.
Cowboy.
Or first text ever.
Why did Karan, I like that you spell it with a Q, get kicked off of the team?
Cowboy.
He was not doing what was being asked of him. Got into a verbal altercation, no physical was what I'm told, with Kenny Payne, and he didn't do anything wrong, according to Kenny Payne. Just got himself kicked off the team. He's still with the team. It's why he's sitting up in row double L, watching the game with a paid-for ticket. Still the weirdest thing that's ever happened to Louisville basketball, which is saying something. Texas says, first the wank room, now steamy showers. The show is going to get a PG-13 rating pretty soon. Also, read my other text. Let's see. I especially stay. What did he say? Dave, I read your first text already. Read it. We responded to it. Text says, is it just a coincidence or a Skip Prosser coaching tree thing that both Chris Mack and Pat Kelsey struggle with very physical teams? Thinking back to Mack struggling against FSU as well.
It's a high hedging thing.
You think that's what it is?
Bad defense. I'm going to start saying it. I'm going to come clean here. Hard hedging in college basketball isn't smart.
Ooh. Are you an ice the ball strain type guy?
Yes.
Okay.
You have athletes out there for a reason. Hedging is a sign you don't trust your athletes to make the decisions they need to on the defensive end to prevent their man from getting into a dangerous spot.
What do you make? So this is not the first time that I've seen this point being made.
Which one?
In the last 2 days about this being a Skip Prosser coaching tree type deal. Now, when people say that, they're basically just referring to Chris Mack and Pat Kelsey. There are other coaches, like Mike Bray was a Skip Prosser guy. Danny Manning, Skip Prosser guy. His son, I believe, is now the head coach at Winthrop, Mark Prosser. Let me make sure that I'm not wrong about that. And I think he's doing a really good job. But Mark Prosser's at Winthrop. They're number 111 on Ken Palm right now. They're off to a good start. He's been a good coach for them thus far. I mean, I don't know if you can say.
They almost beat Arkansas.
I mean, look, Rick Pitino struggled with FSU, too, in his final years. He struggled with physicality at times, too. I don't think that it's just a Skip Prosser type deal. They had some bruising forwards at Wake Forest back in the day. So I'm not willing to draw that conclusion yet. Mack, by the way, struggled a little bit this year. Have you seen that?
Doesn't seem like he's got his heart in it.
I think that was one of the big concerns at Louisville. So Charleston, they almost got beat by the Citadel last night, which would have been a disaster. They're 6-6. They did beat Charlotte, who also is a disaster. But every decent-ish team that they've played has beaten them so far this year.
And they're heavy favorites. They win by like 7.
Yeah, they don't. They're 196 on Ken Palm. That's not enough for a program like Charleston, which actually invests more into its basketball program than the vast, vast majority of mid-major programs. They're looking for more from Chris Mack. I mean, I'm with you. I think that the big thing, he seemed to really enjoy not coaching basketball for a few years. And it was almost like when his daughters went away to college, he was kind of like, all right, well, I got to do something, so I guess I'll get back into this. I don't know if you can have that mentality and be as successful as you were when you had the mentality of, I'm trying to make a name for myself. I live, breathe, eat, sleep, this whole thing, which is kind of where he was at Xavier. I don't know if it's going to work out for him. And I hope he has success. I've got nothing against Chris Mack. I don't love the way that things played out, here. I certainly don't love the way that it ended. I think some of it was his fault. I think some of it was not his fault. But I've got nothing against him personally. I wish him success, but I don't know if it's going to happen at the level that people predicted when he got that job. I think people thought he was going to go there, crush it at Charleston for a few years, and then get a job like back in the Big East at a program like Xavier and be back where he was before he took the Louisville job. And I'm not sure that is going to happen. They were okay last year, but they weren't. I mean,
they're not building on that.
No. And they've got more money than I think any program in the CAA. And right now, they're not taking full enough advantage. We'll see. Texture says that 2-division system would work perfect. You could still do 9 conference games, too, by making a yearly matchup from the other division against whichever team you were the same as the year before.
I was thinking about that. But
you could do that, yeah. If you want to do 9-game, maybe that's the only thing that would make it a little bit, scheduling would be a little bit staggered, a little bit unfair. But if you wanted to play teams from the other side of the conference, at least, you play everybody once a decade, you could get that done. It makes too much sense. Nobody wants to do it the way.
At that point, split the conference.
These conferences, these big conferences, it's the dumbest thing in the entire. We don't need 18-team conferences. We don't need 20-team conferences. We don't need. It's so silly. It's so annoying.
14-team conference.
And unfortunately, we've gone past the point of no return. 12-team conferences, 14-team conferences, that was fine. That was enough. This is ridiculous. And it sucks, and I hate it, and I know we're not going back anytime soon. Let's go to break. When we come back, final segment of the day. We'll run through the text line, make some predictions for the night ahead in sports, and then we'll hand things off to Roman Kelly and the Ticket Punchers. There he is. Keep it locked right here, 1450 The Big X. Roman, what's your favorite Christmas song? Silver Bell.
Maybe that one. What else?
Anything John Denver?
Holy Night. That one's good.
So Danny for the podcast does this thing where whenever something terrible is happening around Christmas time, he just chimes in. Like he'll send a picture of his like kids going absolutely insane. Like they're all crying, they're screaming, and he'll just be like, "Silver bells," and I laugh every time. It gets me every single time, whether he texts it or actually sends it in a video. But I can't hear Silver Bells the same way anymore. I'm a big Nat King Cole Christmas song guy. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a wonderful song. I love Nat King Cole to begin with. My dad was a big Nat Cole guy, so that's my go-to. I love it, but I get into Christmas music. I like it. People hate it. It gets a bad rap. I think it's good. By the way, there's a new video from the Louisville football Twitter account of the players getting free beans.
Really?
Yeah. There's an old table full of beans. They're just taking the beans. A handful of the players start chanting beans, beans, beans. I like that we're embracing this.
I like it too.
That's
what you got to do.
Exactly. If you're not going to play in the playoff, if you're going to play in one of these kind of like bizarre, weirdly sponsored bowl games that happen right around Christmas time, you got to embrace the madness of it. You got to embrace the silliness of it, and we're playing into the beans thing. We're thinking about those beans. I like it.
I kind of keep finding myself wishing I was there.
In Boca?
Yeah.
Del Boca Vista. Yeah. I don't hate that. It's a great place to be. Great weather. Better than here. I think we were talking, Kevin Uselis, the candle guy, at the beginning of the show. He's like, I kind of keep forgetting that the game's happening until you guys bring it up.
Me too.
I'm like, we're not going to let you forget that it's happening. 23rd, Bean Bowl, Louisville, Toledo. We're ready to go. We're fired up.
It's our buddy's suit and tie night. Remember me telling you about that?
Oh, yeah, you guys do suit and tie night.
December 23rd, we got a plan.
We do. We've had the long-standing Rutherford family tradition. On the 23rd, we always have Chinese food.
Oh, yeah.
We used to always go out and have Chinese food. Now it's become kind of the night that we celebrate Christmas with my brothers and my nephews and that side of the family. We go to my parents' house. We now get takeout Chinese and eat it at the house and celebrate with them, which is always fun. It's crazy now that they're so old. You know, two of them are in college. One's a senior in high school. It's a lot different, but that's our 23rd tradition.
We're starting things off at Repeal. We're
okay.
Head to Hotel
Burabon, yeah.
Burabon.
Yeah.
And then nightcap at the Taj.
Look at you, of course. Classic Taj behavior. Here we go. If you see the suit and tie boys out next Tuesday celebrating a Bean Bowl victory, give them a high five. Slip them a five. Buy them a drink.
We'll be out.
Let them know they're classy. Do the girls get to go, or is it just guys?
Girls are invited.
Oh, okay.
That's why we picked those places instead of like O'Shea's, Akiko's.
So what do they have?
And
Is it like cocktail dress?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are getting fancy. I like this tradition. Very nice.
I'm the only one that's like confirmed wearing a tie so far, though. I don't like.
Well, then how is it suit and tie night if you're the only one guy having a suit and tie?
Wear a jacket with a collared shirt.
No. You can't do it. If it's suit and tie night, you
gotta wear a tie.
You're wearing a tie.
Yeah.
This isn't business casual night. It's suit and tie night. Not optional. Black tie's not optional. Come on.
That's what I said.
Come on. I mean, you draw a hard line here. Say, I mean, if I'm you and somebody shows up without a tie, I'm like, you can't go with us. You're out. You're staying. Like, get the owner of Repeal and be like, we need a bouncer. Get this guy out of here. He's not wearing a tie. Go home and find a tie. Can't happen.
Can't happen.
502-414-1450, the Game Day Men's Health text line. Let's run through the text line real quick, and then we'll talk about some of the things that are happening tonight in sports. Reds are pissing me off, by the way. The Reds refuse to sign anybody of any consequence. They're acting like they're going to trade for a bat. They're not going to get a bat. They're signing a bunch of terrible relievers. If you had $16 million to spend on 4 terrible relievers, you could have gone out there and got a decent bat. Reds suck. I hate this place. Texture says, on Christmas Day next week, I'm listening to White Christmas, and it's 60. While I'm listening to White Christmas, and it's 60 degrees and windy out, I'm walking outside and saying that John Denver's full of crap, man. Yeah.
No.
Dumb and Dumber quote.
Never heard that.
I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little bit rockier than this. John Denver's full of bleep, man. I hate the fact, we had all of this cold weather at the beginning of the month and all the snow at the beginning of the month. If it's going to be cold and snowy in December, make it cold and snowy on Christmas week.
Yeah.
That feels right. It feels like I'm willing to accept it then. We had all that terrible, just punch you in the face chill, and now it is going to be like warm and rainy and gross on Christmas week, which I feel like it's been the last 3 or 4 years, which is annoying. Come on. Give me cold and snow on Christmas. Texas, why do you defend Chris the Plumber so much? He's been making fun of your COVID issues for 5 years now. I think he's misguided on his. He's not making fun of me personally, but I respect our listeners. I don't think we need to throw Chris the Plumber into. I'm fine with people going back and forth, but I don't think you just threw Chris the Plumber into a text about being overweight, and we've never seen Chris. I have no idea if he's overweight. You don't need to throw him in there. Text says, look, I treat others the way that I want to be treated. Right, Roman?
Yes,
always. Golden rule. Except for, Doug Gottlieb and some other people. Texas, per Title IX, men and women are required to have equal access to the wank room. Also, who's responsible for cleaning the wank room? You're asking the wrong questions. This isn't for athletes. Title IX doesn't apply here. We will have necessary wank rooms for every major sport head coach. They will have access. Women too. This isn't like an access thing. This is mandatory. This is a responsibility that you have when you sign up to coach in my athletic program. That's the thing. This is a non-negotiable. This isn't like a privilege. This is what you have to do. There are going to be some days where you don't want to wank, and you got to do it anyway. You're getting in there. I mean, I understand how people are like, ooh, this is going to be great. If you've ever had to, and Roman, maybe you'll go through this one day, but if you're trying to conceive, there are times, special times of the month when you have to have sex. That's the time when you can get pregnant.
Ovulation time.
And I think anybody who's been through this knows what I'm talking about. There's some times where you're like, okay, I mean, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm not really feeling it, and I got to do what you got to do. Yeah. That's very much the same situation here.
I'm still part of the life where that's the be careful time.
There was that time for a lot of us, and then there was that. I'm sure you have this thought too. I can't wait till when that's gonna be the fun time, and and then you get there and you're like, okay, for the first couple months, yeah, and then there are certain times later on when you're like, I don't really, neither one of us really want to do. It's not romantic all the time when you have that situation, and it's we gotta go. Come on, I know we've had a hard day. I know we're into this movie.
I've heard about this, and I'm in the last 6 months, I keep learning that this is a much more normal thing than I ever predicted it would be.
What do you mean?
Discussion on for the sake of purpose and intent with romantics there, trying to conceive, right? You have to, even if you don't want to.
I remember those days where it was just I felt very used. It ended up being okay. I'm not complaining. But it was very much you don't have a choice in this. We got to go now. And I'm like, ugh. It's just.
Scoots, listen to that. I want to get used.
Well, Scoots, I mean, come on, man. You put minimal effort in. That's. I don't feel sorry for Scoots at this point. He's just not doing anything. He's turning down my.
We don't know, though. Maybe he's,
he's not doing anything. I've given him.
Didn't he just have a blind date or something the other day?
No, it didn't work out. His gingerbread love story didn't happen. He won't do speed dating at the quarry for either content purposes or his own purposes. He and Trevor both. They minimal effort. They're not going to do anything.
Come out with me. Get in the Taj.
Get him a suit and tie night. Bring out. I would love to hear your friends react to you bringing Scoots out with the boys. This is one of my guys at work.
My coworker. He's sliding with us tonight. Scoots walks in with some oversized jacket, tie too big.
Maybe an elf hat. I don't know. A little Santa hat on. Just bringing
the loudest person in the bar.
Oh, I need this to happen now. But I don't know how we got on this. But again, it's you've got to do it if you're in my athletic department. This isn't I
love how it's all right, now back to the serious stuff.
Let's talk about the things that people want to hear, the non-negotiables of the wank room. Texture says if there's no, this is just every text now. If there's no urinal, we need at least some kind of old school dentist. I'm not going to say that. Sink. Can't just have all that stuff all over the place. Maybe a tube sock dispenser on the way in the room. There are details that need to be worked out. The important thing is the idea.
You've got a rag, some wet wipes. You go on about your day. We've got the Huggies wet wipes. We can flush them even.
A little corner. What are we?
No, I'm saying a little
Eastern
cleanup.
Michigan? This is Louisville, for God's sake.
A little cleanup corner. You come in, you take your shoes off, you put the slippers on, you get your robe on.
No, you don't need to do all that.
you got to get relaxed. You got to make it.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
No, I'm not. I'm saying some people I've heard,
just wait.
It's all they've got sometimes, so they got to make it intimate. They've got to make it serious.
Like lighting a candle, like Steve Carell.
We've got candle options from our boy.
Wolf Candles in there.
Kevin, sponsored by Kevin.
I don't know if Kevin wants to be attached to this, but the
weight room scents,
the whiskey lit candle corner.
Got some scents that can entice the air, can make you start feeling some certain way. We've got nice candles over here. Advanced technology candles. You can get a robe. There's some flushable wipes in there. You're all good.
I don't trust flushable wipes.
I don't either.
Yeah, they're not actually flushable. Every plumber's like they're not flushable. We had a pipe problem a few years ago at our old house. Flushable wipes, the primary culprit when it came to that. We'll work out the minor. The important thing is we got the idea down. I'm giving you gold here.
It's clearly a needed thing.
It's obviously a needed thing. I'm telling you how to save athletic departments around the country. The minor details are just that, minor details. We'll figure that out. But it's not going to be gross. This is going to be classy. Just know that. Don't worry about what's going to be classy about it. Just know that it's going to be classy. You're going to feel like you were treated well.
No massage table stuff going on.
No, this is all professional. This is all very above. This is work related. This is going to make everybody better at their jobs. It's like, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something that was about to get me in trouble. More so than the things we're talking about now already. Texas, you should root for JMU so we can say that we're the only team that beat them. And if they lose, Ole Miss, obviously, to troll Lane Kiffin. I mean, I'm obviously going for the group of five. One of the Tulane or JMU winning the national title would be incredible.
That's the best story.
That's the best, but it's
out of storylines for teams that we don't really want to win. Ole Miss would kind of be cool.
There are 10 teams that I think have a semi-realistic shot to win the national title. I don't think the two group of. I think that any of the top 10 seeds.
4 teams.
I would not expect Miami to win the national title, but I think they would have.
Yeah, I agree.
They got a puncher's chance to win all 4 of those games. JMU and Tulane, I don't think do, but that's obviously my primary rooting interest. I would love for just complete chaos. It'd be great. Yeah, and if we had been the only team to beat national champion winning James Madison, that would be very cool. Scootator said, I got a few lingering thoughts. One, Kenai either doesn't have enough handles or he doesn't have the confidence to taste active one-on-one. I don't know. I understand.
He's not tasting active enough.
He's not tasting active one-on-one. This also sounds like a Wink Room issue. I also wonder if Michael gets bodied off the ball like the weasel from IU did to him. 3, are we going to get the Mongolian guy? First of all, he's not Mongolian. He's playing in Mongolia.
Kyrie Walker is
just
100%.
He's very much American.
Definitely from ATL.
He's very much not Mongolian.
I don't even know.
He is playing in Mongolia right now. I don't know if we're going to get him. I agree with your first part, though. I think Kenai needs to trust himself a little bit more. What we need is we need Kenai not to be afraid to make a turnover when he gets onto the court. Because he's not.
He needs to learn how good he is. He doesn't know.
He's got to force the issue a little bit. He wasn't making anybody uncomfortable for Tennessee. You've got to, didn't try to do anything. Wasn't probing the defense. Wasn't trying to attack.
Got a 7'1" wingspan.
Exactly.
And pass over guys.
We saw him do it with success against Memphis. And I get that Tennessee's better, but the gap isn't that large that you can go from, I'm the most aggressive guy on the court, I'm driving, I'm dishing, I'm scoring, I'm playing defense, I'm rebounding, to 3 days later, I'm not doing anything.
Quick take on Kenai.
Okay.
That I've kind of I've established in my rewatch and just in the last few games, kind of trying to put him under the magnifying glass and really take a look at him. He needs to be the hub when he's on the floor. When I say hub, I mean the actions start with Kenai. Even if he's not even an option, even if he's the 5th shooting option of the that chaotic set. And when I say set, I mean he's got the ball at the top of the key. He hands off. He screens. He gets the ball back. He makes a movement towards the basket, and he's waiting for somebody to come out and screen, whether that's a shooter, whether that's a roll man. If that's not there, he gets to get the line drive, move to the basket, or get closer to the basket, try to make a move, and then find that kick out. Every single Kenai Roos possession this season has looked best when he has been a part of the movements and actions happening within the offense.
Yeah.
When you're expecting him to stand in the corner, screen off ball, cut to the basket, and understand exactly where he's supposed to be at all times, trying to feel the game out in that way, that's not his game. You got to think about this is a kid that where he came from. What's his basketball career like? What was he best at before he got here? getting the ball and putting the ball in the basket, right? He understands that's not what his skill set allows for him to do at this level. There are still skills in his game that can, I think, manipulate defenses and make you, oh, no, this is a 6'11 guy who's got a longer wingspan than me, backing me in the post right now. The person guarding him thinks he's going to be trying to score. The closest help defender thinks they need to help out because he's clearly not holding the defender's not able to hold his ground because Kanai is actually way stronger than he looks for a skinnier guy. Get Kanai the ball in the block. Let him back down. Make Frew screen off the ball at the top of the key for McNeely. Conwell screen for Brown because that's going to mess up the two guards right there defending that. No guard knows how to defend their man screen because guards don't screen much. Ours do a little bit. Screen them even more. Make Kanai be a passer. And when there's nothing happening, we're getting a good deny out there. He can do quick move, get to the basket, right? None of that stuff's happening in these games where the defense is kind of extended out on us. There's a hand on us off ball for everybody. Kanai's not comfortable in those moments. And he's not going to ever be, it seems like. When he does look comfortable is when he's getting to make decisions with the ball. So
he's got to at least try. You got to try to force the issue.
That's the weird part is that he kind of, you got to know what I expect Kanai probably to understand what I'm saying right now. What's happening to him in these kind of games when there's a lot of question marks happening in live time for Louisville? He doesn't want to add to those. And
I don't get it. He came in against Memphis. He first possession flies in for a rebound, runs the court, sets up the offense. Next possession gets another rebound. He drives the lane, beats his man off the bounce. They cut him off. He goes fully under the rim, throws a fantastic pass to the outside for an Adrian Woolley three. He's scoring. He's taking no hesitation shots from the outside. And then he looks like a completely different guy against Tennessee. He can't be terrified to make a turnover.
No. He had one good possession against Tennessee.
Did nothing the whole game.
He makes a good pass, screens, cuts, calls for the ball, gets it, and gets fouled.
He's got to be a difference
only good
maker.
Possession was his only aggressive possession.
He went 1 or 2 from the line. He's got to be. If he wants to step up and be a difference maker for this team, he can't be scared out there. You can't play the way that you did as a freshman, where all you're trying to do is making sure that you don't do something that gets you subbed out of the game. You can't be afraid of failure at this level. You can't, and he needs to take that step. Texter says, is Pat Kelsey doing a radio show today at Roosters? He is. He will be on 970 WGTK. 7 to 8, I believe, is the time for this radio show, and it will be at the Roosters in Middletown. Is that right?
I think that's what I heard.
Springhurst Boulevard, 3601 Springhurst Boulevard, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
That's Middletown, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Pat Kelsey radio show on our sister station, 970 WGTK, also on the our partners over at 93.9 The Ville. We haven't heard him talk since the Tennessee game. It'll be curious to hear what he says. Texture says, absolutely root against Indiana, Mike. They bought out of playing us, too, and our regional rivals recruiting against us for top local talent. That's true. I'm rooting for the ACC, Miami, JMU, and Tulane. I'm rooting against Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Oregon. We do not want UK's new coach coaching a national championship. I'm indifferent about Oklahoma, Texas, Ole Miss, and A&M. See, I'm against the SEC. I can't be indifferent against 4 SEC teams. It's going to be somebody that I hate. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be somebody that I hate.
I keep thinking that producer Matt's going to be right.
What does he say?
The loser of the Big Ten championship game was going to win it all.
Oh, I think Ohio State's they're the betting favorite going into this. Spoiler, I'm going to pick them to win the national title. I think they're going to win it all.
I'm still going with Georgia.
Also not a bad pick. Texture says, this is Lazard guy, rooting for SEC failure and JMU because Will Stein is the enemy and must fall at everything now. I'd love it if JMU beats Oregon. We get our first real kind of we got our talking point in this new era of the rivalry. It's we beat James Madison. Your new coach couldn't even beat him calling plays at Oregon. How's he going to beat us? Texas Mike, should we be worried about the Jeff to Ohio rumors? Yes. Very. Guy loves Bobcats, loves MAC football. Be terrified. There are some Brian to Ohio rumors. I don't know how credible they are. I don't think he's going to get that job. I would love it if he did. I'm rooting for him, but I don't think that that's really based in reality. Texas Patino had a ton of issues with any physical Big Ten team over his tenure here. Part of me thinks there's a challenge for teams to adjust to the difference in officiating from one conference to the next. SEC teams are used to bruising everybody up. They are, and it's funny, that didn't used to be the SEC's MO. It's kind of become who they are over the last 3 years or so. That used to be more of a Big Ten Big East thing and the knock on that style of play. People would always say, well, the Big Ten teams, they suck in the tournament because you can't get away with being that physical. They call the games differently in the NCAA tournament than they do in these Big Ten conference games. And people used to say that about the Big East as well back in like the late 2000s. And maybe there was some truth to that, although the best teams in the Big East and the best teams in the Big Ten have always tended to find ways to play fairly deep into the NCAA tournament. But people used to say SEC and ACC teams were the best built for tournament success because they played more of a free-flowing style that was called more like NCAA tournament games. And now the SEC has become kind of you've got 25 different teams there or whatever, so you got a confluence of styles. But there are a lot of teams that play that physical bully ball rock fight style, and sometimes it works in the tournament. Sometimes they don't let you play that way. Texas, Rick Pitino could have avoided the Karen Cypher extortion if Tom Jurich would have had a wank room available at U of L. I mean, it wasn't just him. We had a lot of horny guys on Floyd Street back in the day. A lot of horny women Floyd Street back in the day. A lot of problems within that athletic program could have been solved. That's all I'll say. By the way, I'm not going to say that. Texas, this little dumper. Every big man should have a bump fade away in the post. Kanai could kill with that.
My thing, yes, he could. I don't know if he has that kind of true shooting touch yet in his game. My thing is, he's got the jumping ability and the wingspan to where if you are 6 feet away from the basket, even 8 feet away, a pound dribble and that kind of stride you have should get to the basket. You should have enough moves and counters that in one dribble facing the basket, you can get to the rim and be close enough to finish, something that you were comfortable with. At 6'10", with that wingspan, 7-foot wingspan, you got to be making that happen. And I know they practice it. You saw the clips in the summer of them, like him, Faru, Zugris. They've got those the things that the football teams kind of use as kind of dummies that they throw up in the air with them. I know you guys practice contact finishing. Why don't we attempt those contact finishes around the rim?
I mean, I think he also wouldn't Kanai benefit from a little jump hook? Javon's got that little jump hook.
A little pound dribble, one step. It's like that push shot.
Exactly. Am I wrong, or did he not start doing that a little bit at some point last season? And we all were like, ooh, I like that. And then I don't think we've seen it from him ever since.
He adapted it in the end of last season a little bit, right? He would kind of drive, pick his dribble up, pump fake, and just hook a bit.
Yeah.
And we saw it in the clips. He had 3 or 4 of them in the couple of red on white scrimmages from practice we saw. He was doing it against Fru.
Yeah.
So
bring it back, man. I don't understand why you wouldn't have that in your bag at this point when you have the size and the skill set that he does. Seems like a no-brainer. By the way, we haven't mentioned this. We need to.
Got Khalifa guarding at practice.
Yeah, there might be something to be said for that. We haven't mentioned this yet. We need to. Colin Lacey has been named a second-team All-American by the Football Writers Association of America. He was named as the return specialist, the second-team All-American return specialist. Had a fantastic year, third nationally with an average of 20 yards per punt return, and is one of only 5 players in the country to have multiple punt return touchdowns. He also became the first player in U of L history to return 2 punts of more than 75 yards for touchdowns in a single season. Props to Colin Lacey.
Electric.
Played through a lot of pain this season. He was fantastic for us. Love that guy. Love him forever. Star Wars says, while the last national champion Florida did lose by 20 at Tennessee, I would say that our team needs to get better at handling road environments. Big note there. Last year's national championship winning team, they lost by 20 points in Knoxville later in the season than we did. Just saying. Well, it wasn't 21 points. Just stop with that. Come on. They also beat Tennessee by 30 points at home. So there's that. But we scored 62 points in that game? 64, whatever we scored. Florida scored 44.
62.
Florida scored 44 at Thompson Bowling last year in that loss. They got beat 64-44. You can look like ass and still be a pretty good team.
We scored 62 with a 27-point first half. So
there's that. Still, we're averaging more than 44.
Granted, you're down the entire second half.
So tonight, Rams Seahawks 8:15 Prime Video, big time battle at the top of the NFC. Seattle's a 1.5-point home favorite. Roman, who wins this one?
Rams win this one.
I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL right now. Rams win this one, establish themselves as the likely top seed in the NFC.
But I don't know. If they can't run the ball, Seahawks defense could take advantage.
Stafford's going to throw it a billion times.
And I think Kyron Williams gets back right.
I do too. Ticket punchers are up next. Keep it locked right here. I'm back tomorrow at 2:30. Go Cards.
Go Cards.
The Mike Rutherford Show was brought to you by United Mechanical. John Burke's United Mechanical is your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration needs. Call United Mechanical at 502-339-1133. Go Cards.
Hey there, New Albany. This is Mayor Jeff Gahan. It's another year here in our River City, and what better time to show your support for our high school's athletic programs. Whether it's basketball or football, track and field or soccer, swimming or tennis, our Bulldogs are giving it their all on the field and court. So let's rally behind them, New Albany. Come out to the games, cheer them on, and let's make some noise. Let's show everyone what it means to be a part of the best city in Southern Indiana. Go Bulldogs.
Calling all basketball fans, make plans to be at the KFC Yum Center this season to watch head coach Pat Kelsey and Louisville men's basketball at any of their 9 ACC home games. Visit gocards.com/MBB tickets to purchase today. Go Cards!
Joe is back at Everything Concealed Carry with 900 to 1,000 new and used guns on his way at any given time. You can see, touch, and compare until you find exactly what you want. No grouchy old man here, just a welcoming team ready to help. And remember, we also buy guns for cash right on the spot. Come visit us today at 10306 Taylorsville Road in the heart of J-Town. Call 502-657-8488 or check us out online at eccguns.com. Everything Concealed Carry. Joe is back, and so are the deals.
Defining a new era in men's health, Gameday Men's Health delivers real results with no shortcuts. From testosterone replacement, weight loss to peptides, vitamins, and sexual performance therapy, Gameday Men's Health will have you covered. Their in-house lab gives you answers in just 15 minutes, and our clinic is designed for men who value privacy, speed, and results. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Real men, real science, most importantly, real change. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Honey Baked Ham in New Albany is the perfect spot for a healthy